Termine là. Allez.
J'espère qu'il ne faudra pas changer de balance.
J'espère qu'il va marquer. Non, je pense que maintenant qu'il doit ça va pas passer. Allez, vas-y.
Encore Saïd, voilà. Lève-toi Saïd, barrière. Voilà. Rentre dans le jeu Saïd. 8 mètres. 12. Très bien Saïd, voilà. 6 mètres.
Saïd. Boarding les gars, boarding hein. Ouais.
Hop. Ça
Ladies and gentlemen, the training session has taken only 10 minutes.
Ah, il y en avait une. Saïd, 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 Saïd.
Ok. Faut que je me calme. S'il y a l'échauffement, c'est pas grave. Dans le match, on va y aller. Ouais.
Connu, bien. 10 mètres, hop.
Je crois qu'on jouait sur devant
2 personnes.
10 mètres, hop.
Ça un peu plus fort quand même hein.
Rentre Saïd, rentre.
Saïd.
Ouais.
Ouais, il faut qu'on cale là de la semaine ici, derrière.
Alors ici aucune pour l'instant.
Ouais, mais cale une fois la cale de la semaine et prends ton temps.
Ouais. Ouais.
Ouais, pourtant, à vous c'est tout, qui est imposé, à vous c'est couilles. Ouais, il y en a 2-3, des femmes pour toi, des femmes à shop. À shop. Avec des grosses têtes, hein. Pour moi ça donne du lait, ça donne des pieds. Saïd!
Saïd, hop.
Voilà, c'est bon Saïd. Prise, prends la prise. Tiens.
Si elle allait dedans ou pas. Elle était dans sur le gardien.
Voilà, on va s'en faire confiance.
Il faut que je ralentisse chaque fois. Je vais mettre des patates. Ouais. Ouais.
Oh,
So good evening and welcome to our coverage of the fourth and final game here on day 3 of the IBSA Blind Football European Championships 2017. Tonight's game, Belgium taking on Georgia. Good evening, my name's Alan Martin, alongside me one of our match commentators, Peter Selby, and the game here tonight, it's the fourth of 4 games on one day. It's been a long old day already. We've had plenty of goals, plenty of drama. We had a late shout for a penalty in the final game. Turkey denied being beaten by Russia. Also in this group is our next contest. Belgium taking on Georgia, both being beaten in the first games quite soundly as well. Where do you see this one going, Pete?
Yeah, we just had the 2 favourites for the group facing off against each other in Belgium, in Russia and also Turkey. Now we've got the 2 minnows in the group, Belgium and Georgia. Now, big problems for the Georgian side is that they've only got 5 players. Now, 5 players will be on the field, 4 outfield and the goalkeeper, so no substitutions, any injuries, going to cause all sorts of problems for the Georgians.
So let's take a look at what Pete is talking about here then. So Georgia have a starting lineup, and that is it. They have the guide behind the goal, they have their coach, they don't have a single substitute. This is going to be a hard slog for the next few days.
Yeah, through injury and suspension. Basilashvili, number 6, not in the squad because of suspension, and he was really the star of the show for that opening game, even though they were hit for many against Spain. And well, Georgia, they're going to be up against it against Belgian side, who, yes, they conceded 7 in their first game to a rampant Turkey side. And well, Belgium, I said that they are the dark horses in this group, and they'll prove a few people wrong with many people's predictions, but they've named a strong lineup.
This is their opportunity to bolster confidence, though, isn't it? That's the lineup on your screen now that will take on this Georgian team. We spoke a little bit earlier to Dorian Cornelis. You'll see that interview on your screens in the next couple of days. Very chirpy, very happy, very just excited to be part of this competition. The only female player to be a part of this competition, and the very first one. She made her debut last night to a very good reception from the crowd here in Berlin, and we'll show you that interview with her in the next couple of days. So let's take a look at the league tables in a couple of moments then, and it's a chance here for Belgium to get rid of that defeat and get 3 points under their belt. Georgia, as we just said, they've got a long old journey in this competition, but this would be one of the games that they would have to win to stand any chance of progressing.
Yes, it would have been the one game that Georgia would have targeted, the game against Belgium. The same for Belgium as well. They would have targeted the game against Georgia, although with those 5 men, they're really up against it are the Georgians, who finished second in qualifying back in April behind Romania. So Belgium, they'll be looking to kickstart their Group B campaign, and I think they'll be looking to correct that -7 goal difference as well.
Okay, so taking a look now at the results from the games that have preceded. So, well, we could say there'll be goals in this game, but probably at the other end.
Yeah, Belgium, like I said, losing 7-0 to Turkey. I don't think it was a poor display at all by Belgium. I think it was more a really good performance by Turkey. Georgia, exactly the same, a very classy outfit in Spain. And Georgia held them for the first 10-15 minutes. And then as soon as the man was sent off, the floodgates opened. And they lost a bit of ill discipline as well. So Georgia, they're capitulated into that 8-0 defeat. And then they've got 2 really tough tasks ahead of them after this game in Turkey and Russia. It doesn't get any easier for the Georgians.
Well, let's take a look at a few of those goals that have been chipped into the Belgian and Georgian nets, shall we? We'll start off with Turkey's demolition of Belgium, and well, it was a dominant performance. As you discussed earlier when we talked about Turkey, Pete, they got off to a fantastic start. Sate coming off the bench fairly early and being, well, pivotal in that performance.
Yeah, very strong outfits are Turkey, and they played very well today, even though they was defeated by Russia. It could be the same 2 teams in the final in a few days' time. But Turkey were rampant against Belgium, who did put up quite a fight. They've got many decent players, the Belgian side. Van der Spoor will take his place up front, the giant number 9. Syed Salek, actually the oldest player in the tournament, at 49 years old, gets a starting berth as well, alongside the youth of Christophe Elder and Alexander Vespes, who's on the bench. You can see there, number 8, just can't do anything about Satay turning and hitting this ball into the roof of the nets. And I think the Turkish team will wish they had their shooting boots on like they did against Belgium today in their defeat earlier. to Russia.
Yeah, you talk about the big number 9 for Belgium. He spent most of the game putting pressure on and being a problem for Turkey's backline. Just didn't have anybody else with him, did he, during the game?
Yes, Vespers can dribble with the ball from deep, but it's a very solid side, this Turkish team, and I think they'll have a lot more. They'll be a lot more fruitful with their runs and their efforts on goal against Georgia. Like I mentioned, they had a really good performance for the first 10 or 15 minutes, and then with a few fouls against them, they really lost their heads. And there was a bit of ill discipline at the back. The goalkeeper's shoulders slumped, and a couple of times just throwing the ball away, not even to a Georgian player. And then, of course, they had the sending off, which, to be honest, I think Basilashvili was by far the best player for Georgia, and it was more over-enthusiasm than anything dirty. And I think they're going to have a real tough task against the Belgium side, who are going to, as I said, looking to not only win the game, but overturn that -7 goal difference.
Here are some of those, lowlights, I suppose, from a Georgia perspective in this game. Georgia and Spain battling it out, and it was, as you say, a long game, I suppose, for the Georgian players, and ending with, they only had 2 outfield players by the time they'd done.
That's right, but it took Spain until the 15th minute of that first half to actually open the scoring. So that just shows you how well Georgia played up until that point. They employ a scramble defence, as I like to describe, i.e. everyone just goes for the ball and snuffs out any attack and then clears their lines. There's not a lot of tactics or sense of positioning in their defence. It is kind of a rush defence, a scramble defence, everyone for the ball. But obviously that can lead to a few fouls, and if there's any ill discipline today, or they give away plenty of team fouls, then it could be really up against it early on rather than holding the team. But like I said, 15 minutes against Spain, and it just shows you at the end of it, 15 minutes 0-0, and then it ends at 8-0. It just shows you that once those shoulders drop, it was easy for the Spanish.
Wedged into the back of the net. How many more of those will we see tonight? In a couple of moments, we'll take a look at the top scorers charts. One last goal for Spain. Not that any Georgian viewers particularly want to see many more of those. So here we go. Then the top goal scorers of the competition so far. The young Italian with 4, Martin of Spain also with 4 in just the one game.
Yeah, Poliobo, I've just spoke to around about 10 minutes ago. I called him superstar, and I think he's going to be one of the real stars of the game for many years to come. He's only 15 years old, just turned 15. All 4 goals coming in their match against Romania early on today. And then he got Martin for Spain. Those goals coming against Georgia in their first game, and then Satay, 3 goals for the Turkish player. And I won't be surprised if we see a Belgian player or 2 on that list by the end of the game.
Yeah, they might not be on there at the moment. What they are on is the most team fouls per game list. So at the moment, Romania versus England, 11 for Romania in that, 12 for France against Germany a little bit earlier on, and Georgia versus Spain, 17 team fouls. And on the piece of paper I saw 19 for Belgium versus Turkey. So we'll hand over to our commentator in just a second. The teams are gathering themselves in the tunnel. Thank you very much to Peter Selby. I think we can expect goals. We can expect it to be rough and tumble. What we can expect is another great game of blind football here at the IBSA Blind Football European Championships 2017. So let's go over to that commentary team of Jonathan Bell and Peter Selby.
Thank you, Alan. Good evening. Good evening, everybody watching at home as well. The 4th and final game on day 3 of the IBSA Blind Football European Championships 2017 in Berlin. Belgium and Georgia closing out the day, locking horns with each other. 2 teams who may have been demoralised after their respective results last night, but they'll be looking to turn around their side's fortunes coming into this game. Georgia, all 5 of them, led out by their goalkeeper, Irakli Mandaria, who wears his red tracksuit top, black shorts and black socks for now, with red knee pads as well. The Georgians are in red shirts, red shorts and red socks with white sleeves on their shirts. The Belgians in their train strip of a very light blue coloured strip, which almost is white, with the Belgian colours going across their torso. The black horizontally above the yellow and the red as well. They've got black shorts and light blue socks. Both sets of teams standing either side of the halfway line, either side of the officials as well, as we await the national anthems. The first national anthem we'll be hearing will be the Georgian national anthem. Be 5 of them in the squad for Georgia, but they certainly sound like they had a full squad of 10 now. Their national anthem going around and proud here in Berlin. Up next, Belgium. I have to say, Belgium are the best singers of a national anthem I have heard all weekend. Fantastic stuff from their 5 players out on the pitch, and good support from the bench as well, with the big Belgian flag draping over the kickboards. So we mentioned the Belgian team and the Georgian team. Let's have a look at how the Belgians line up here. Just the 2 players keeping their starting jerseys from last night. They are number 2, Christophe Eiler, and number 7, Jean-Michel Bertenchamp, who will also wear the captain's armband to start off with for Belgium. Their regular captain, David Dortu, on the substitutes bench for them. As for Georgia, well, they've only got the 5 to choose from. Easy pickings for their manager, Ilya Kipashvili, with Irakli Mandario in goal. Bachana Maglashvili will be wearing the captain's armband tonight, and a lot of pressure on him to be able to be an attacking outlet for the Georgians, who are going to really struggle tonight. But no doubt they will give it their all. If they're tenacious in this game, as they were last night, then yes, we may have a few team fouls, but we should have some tasty tackles going in as well. Pete Selby's jogged from the studio to the commentary position. It's not that far a walk, is it, Pete? You're with me now. Looking forward to this one, and it's going to be a tight affair in terms of these are 2 teams that got thumped on the opening day of competition. However, Belgians have a bit more experience at this level and should come out on top.
Yes, I do fancy Belgium to rack up quite a score here against Georgia. Remember that they only have their 5 outfield players, and any ill discipline or unfortunate injuries will really dampen their chances, and Belgium will be looking to overturn that -7 goal difference that they currently have. They're not only looking for the 3 points, but again, plenty of goals. And they've got plenty of goals in their lineup. Kevin van der Spoor up front, Betty Champ as well. Said Selak, the oldest player here in the championships at 49 years old. Christophe Elder, the youngster. And also they've got Alexandre Vespes on the bench. So plenty of goals in the lineup. And I'll be surprised if Georgia really come out with anything from this game. I know they've got obviously the problems with only those 5 players, but they did hold Spain to 15 minutes.
So they're swapping sides there, it seems. The Georgians, who win the toss, and Belgium losing out there, will kick things off today, kicking from left to right in the first half. And you mentioned goals, Pete, in the Belgian team. There are a couple of European Championship goals in them as well. Kevin van der Spoort starting up front with the number 9 shirt. You can't miss him, such a big frame. He got 1 goal versus Greece in Euro 15. Alexander Vespers as well got a goal in that game. So the Belgian team currently in a huddle in front of their team bench. They break away from that. Very loud and proud indeed, as are the Georgians as well. You can see on the screen now in their red shirt, white sleeves, red shorts and red socks. They will be defending the scoreboard end away to my right in this first period. Their goalkeeper all in black with a bit of red splattered across his chest and red knee pads as well. That's Ikeli Mandaria, and he's just making sure his defence are in the correct position to start this game off. Meanwhile, the Belgians in that very light sky blue jersey with the black, yellow and red horizontal lines going across the upper torso will be kicking things off here, and the referee just making sure that the guide behind the goal is in the right position, and we should be good to go in this one. The officials, I think, will be indicating to the Belgians that it is their kick. No one in a Belgian strip yet going up towards the ball. They are now, though, and it will be captain Jean-Michel Bertinchon who will start this game with Syed Selek as well. Syed Selek at the back of the 2 players. Pete mentioned 49 years of age, the oldest player at these championships. He turns 50 on New Year's Day. So kick-off moments away here. The official just off the screen to the right at the moment, making sure the Georgians have all got their protective blindfolds on and that there are no holes in them for them to peep through. That certainly is not the case, and we await the thumbs up from the officials to get this final game on game day 3 off and underway here. And it's Belgium immediately attacking with a shot straight away, and it's Jean-Michel Bertinchon, the captain, firing in towards Mandaria. So Belgium wasting no time at all to try and fire in towards the Georgian net. Meanwhile, at the other end, it's back with Belgium just outside their own defensive zone. Good attacking from Margalashvili, the captain of Georgia, to try and battle away and win possession. He's the only man on his team inside the opposing half, but it's opposite number now, Bertinchon, making the dash forward on the right-hand side, past 2 players in red. He decides to check back instead and wait for more options. He's looking for a call. He's not getting one, however, and once again, it's now Margalashvili coming forward on the right-hand side. A couple of Belgians managing to retreat, and in the end, the ball will be stopped by Isla from going out of play for a corner, and he clears his line over the halfway mark. On the ball now is Shakarashvili, the number 11, very small player, and he's playing the ball in field, aiming for Margalashvili, his captain. However, things break down as far as Georgia are concerned, and Belgium just let the ball roll out of play. However, it takes a nick of Christophe Isla, the number 2 there, who got the call from his goalkeeper Adrien Bonner, who deputised in this competition tonight. He didn't play in the first game yesterday. The referee gives a corner, and it will be a chance for Margalashvili to go across to the right-hand side, and Georgia have no choice. They've got to have 2 players in the opposing half now.
Yes, it might be a rare foray into Belgian territory for the red shirts of Georgia. And it's going to be a corner from the right-hand side. Margalashvili will be receiving the ball. He'll face up against 3 defenders in the light blue shirts of Belgium. I do like the outfit that they're wearing with the Belgian flag across the chest. Good skill by Margalashvili, but he's heading back towards the kickboard on the right-hand side. Lovely drag back, gets away from Van der Spoort. Shot comes in wide of the left-hand post. Good shot from an acute angle by Margalashvili, and that would have scared the Belgians and buoyed the spirits of the Georgian side as the ball runs out of play straight from the Belgian goalkeeper. The spirits would have been diminished by those sending off in the previous game and having only 5 players, but early chance there for Margalashvili. He might have a second here on the right-hand side once again. Turns away from Van der Spoort, who gets a foot on the ball, back to the halfway line, and a bit of a wrestling match going here without the ball. Margalashvili being pushed back by Van der Spoort into the opposition third. Van der Spoort now for Belgium, left-hand side by the corner. He's got in the centre Bertinchon, who's completely free. Has that come off a Georgian player last? No, it hasn't. It's going to be a restart for Georgia. 3 of their men inside their own D. Throws it to Marglashvili, who I think is going to be really the main attacking output for Georgia in this match. Inside the centre circle, stops, dragged back, trying to go away from the attention of the Belgian midfield. Over to the left-hand side, Marglashvili. Intercepted there by Bertichon, does well inside his own half, has the ball for Belgium. And now he's going to dribble up to the halfway line. Central position, 3 Georgian players are back. He goes to the left-hand side, onto the broken line, lovely drag back, now goes again, shot from distance, comes off for Georgian leg, and it's going to be the first corner of the match for Belgium on the right-hand side. 2 minutes gone, bright start by Georgia, and I think we can label Marglashvili as their main goal threat, number 7, but Belgium with on the bench, obviously, for Belgium, Dorian Cornelis, who I'm sure will get another appearance in this game, especially if Belgium have a commanding lead. And it's going to be from the right-hand side, this corner. Bertichon and Van der Spoor. Van der Spoor takes it, goes back and shoots from distance, and hits the scoreboard behind rather than the back of the net. And it's going to be a restart for Georgia.
Yeah, an entertaining start to this game. No goals, however, after 2.5 minutes. Making the charge down the right-hand side is Marglashvili. We'll be saying his name a lot today. Will we be saying his name after a goal? The answer is no. He got on the angle on the right side of the area, swung for the ball, didn't make contact with it, and the ball harmlessly goes wide in the end. And Bonnet will be able to throw it over the halfway line towards Salek on this right-hand side. The veteran looking to turn and come in field as well laterally, trying to make the charge forward. A tackle coming in from Petriashvili, the big number 17 for Georgia, who's the furthest man forward for them at the moment, just short of the halfway line. The ball is squared though by Salek towards the left-hand side, and Van der Spoor now. He just cannons himself into the kickboard on the far side. I would not like to be Sharashvili trying to mark Van der Spoor here. He eventually falls on the ball with 4 red shirts around him, and the counter-attack is on for Georgia, who try and clear the ball forward. They fail in doing so, and in fact the ball will come back towards them with Van der Spoor. That was momentarily though, because on the counter-attack, Marglashvili, the captain of Georgia, tries to come over at the right-hand side. Pretty scrappy stuff in the centre of the park at the moment. Georgia keeping very tight as a defensive unit. If anything comes their way, they are together, they are close, they are communicating and trying to keep the ball away from their net. At the moment, it's at the other end of the pitch with Isla in the right-back position for Belgium, the number 2, trying to come forward. He's midway inside his own half. He's been hassled and harried by Shakarashvili, the number 11. Eventually, the ball goes over halfway. Bertichon nearly got at the end of that as he got put in behind there of the Georgian defence. He got towards the edge of the area, tried to reach out for the ball with his left foot, but it surpassed him and went out for a goalkeeper's ball for Georgia. Mandaria throwing it forward. It's now Marglashvili dead central, running past Bertichon. It's a shot from Marglashvili. Didn't get sufficient contact on it to trouble Barnett too much, but at the moment it's a very open contest, and Georgia perhaps faring better than we thought they would, or this is very familiar stuff, as they started off well against Spain last night before crashing to an 8-0 defeat. Good tackle coming in by the number 8 Bachuk Kaiser, but it's still not fully cleared away. Bertichon trying to come towards the edge of the area. Now the break is on for Marglashvili again. He's got a lot of room to go into. He's lost track of the ball. He went faster than the ball there, managed to check back and get the ball back. Van der Spoor holding him off, as you'd expect, such a physical presence on the field for Belgium, and the ball ricochets back for Ireland on the edge of his area, who clears it up towards halfway. In a dead central position is Bertichon, who manages to turn well. The Belgian captain with the red captain's armband on his left arm. He stumbles a bit as he picks up possession on the right-hand side. He's got his back to goal now. In his back is Petriashvili. He's trying to work it towards the right corner, but he's very much struggling at this moment in time. A nice back kill from him though. Van der Spoor was dallying a bit. He's unaware of where the ball is. It goes towards the left-hand side, and Belgium still putting pressure, camping Georgia inside their own half.
Yeah, Van der Spoor misses his first kick, gets a second opportunity, and this goes into the arms of the goalkeeper, who's on target from nearer the halfway line than the broken line. He'll be looking to get shots on target from a lot closer, Van der Spoor, but here goes Marglashvili once again past the broken line. Only 2 defenders back, and both of them getting his way, including the youngster Christophe Aider. And it's Van der Spoor, brings it over the halfway line once again, left-hand side, broad individual, plays it forward, trying to find Bertichon, but that runs through to the goalkeeper once again. 5 minutes gone, and Georgia are holding the team from Belgium, and to be honest, they've had the best chances, have the Georgians, through their main outlook, and that's Marglashvili on the right-hand side. Here goes Van der Spoor, powerful run down the left, It's the snuffed out by the red shirts of the Georgians, and they just clear their lines. Anywhere will do. Christophe Elder picks it up for Belgium inside his own third. Switches play from the left-hand kickboard to the right. Bertichon fails to control first time. He gets a second opportunity, but the Georgian defence clear. In fact, they go backwards into their own third, and they still have possession though, and it can now be cleared by number 11 Shaklasvili, who goes down the left-hand side. No one's up there for Georgia at the moment. No one's inside the Belgium half, and it's easily picked up once again by Christophe Elder, and he's got plenty of options. Van der Sport's to his left. On his right, he's got Said Salek, who's made his way forward, usually operating at the back, but I think he's been pushed forward for the meantime because there's a lack of attacking by Georgia, but they're winning it back on the right-hand side. Shaklasvili goes to ground, nothing given. Elder does very well getting back for Belgium. It's on the right-hand side of the Belgium third. Here comes number 2, Christophe Elder, bringing it out to defence. Is he going to leave it for Kevin van der Sport? No, he's going to go himself down the left-hand kickboard. The diminutive defender. Good ball forward, finds number 7, Bertichon, scuffed effort on goal into the goalkeeper's arms. Really good chance there for Bertichon. The best chance of the match for Belgium. And he managed just to scuff the ball, but here goes Marglashvili once again. Breaks through 2 defenders up to the halfway line and just runs the ball into Said Selek, the experienced number 3 for Belgium. Still with the ball, the number 7 Marglashvili into the opposition third and runs the ball out for a goal kick.
We're going to have our first substitute of the game, and it will be Belgium making the change as well. An outfield change. Coming will be Kevin van der Sport, the big number 9, having a bit of a rest, and on comes Alexander Vespers. Those 2 players are the only 2 players who have scored in a major international tournament for Belgium. Vespers scoring against Greece in Euro 2015 in Hereford. Can he get his name on the score sheet here today? Belgium in the Euro 2015. They scored 2, and they didn't concede too many more either. Very low scoring games when Belgium were involved, and of course Peter's mentioned many a time over the course of the weekend so far that the nets have been increased 66 centimetres in width and 33 centimetres in height, and that has added a lot more goals in this tournament already, and I'm sure IBSA, the organisers for this event, will be very much happy with that rule change. In hindsight, the ball thrown towards the left-hand side, and a first touch for Vespers in this game. Tries to flip it from the left-hand side to the right, but an interception coming in from Marglashvili, trying to wriggle his way down the centre of the Belgian half. Now goes on the outside, a big interception from Alexander Vespers, just planting his left foot on the ball there. Still not fully completed the clearance. Marglashvili picking up possession again on the right-hand side, forced up towards the kickboard. The last touch has come off a Belgian, so the ball has stopped on the byline in order from going out of play. It's now on the corner arc, and the referee gives the first free kick of the game. Marglashvili a bit too aggressive for the referee's liking there in the back of Alexander Vespers.
Yeah, it's going to be a free kick to Belgium inside, not only their own third, but also their own corner D on that left-hand side. 8 minutes gone, and it's goalless. I mentioned before the game that Georgia held the Spanish team, very impressive Spanish team, to a goalless first 15 minutes before the floodgates really did open. So first team foul there for Georgia. Free kick taken. Alexander Vespers, very long-legged individual, passes the ball over to the right-hand side to try and find Said Selek. And Selek just loses the ball first time, goes back and gets it again by the right-hand kickboard. He's got 2 red-shirted Georgians for company. Selek does well, turns them both, plays it across for Vespers once again. Now they're inside the final third, and going to ground is Vespers, and this could be another team foul for Georgia. And I don't think anyone needs reminding out there what happened with Georgia in the first game. And if you do, and if you just joined this live stream, then welcome to the final game on day 3, and a cracking day so far of these IBSA Blind Football European Championships in Berlin. Get in contact with us using the Twitter handle at Euro 2017 Berlin and the hashtag The Sound of Football. Tell us where you are, who you are watching and supporting. So a second team foul there for Georgia in their first game. They were down at one point to 3 players on the field for ill discipline, injury, all sorts, and they ended up conceding 8. And Belgium conceded 7 to the impressive Turkish side, who's just been beaten by Russia in a tremendous game before this. 4 matches today, and there'll be 4 matches tomorrow, and for the next 3 to 4 days before we reach the latter stages of this competition. Free kick for Belgium, left-hand side, just inside the broken line. Shot is wild, hits the right-hand kickboard and goes out. So a Georgian restart, and the goalkeeper, Mandaria, just rolls it out to the right-hand side to Marglashvili, who's been the real goal threat for Georgia. Goes past the 2 players in midfield, into the D, and just overruns the ball. And that shows the goal threats that Georgia do possess. It's been all Belgium so far, apart from the number 7 in the red shirt, Marglashvili. Absolutely, and Belgium have to respond here and assert their authority on this match before they go and concede one, because you never know what's around the corner. Bertinchon trying to make progress down the right-hand side. He has to come in field to find the ball next. Collides into his opposite number, Marglashvili, who comes out on top, strides down the heart of the field. He gets past all the Belgian players, but denied at the last there by Isla before flying in towards the goalkeeper, Bonar, who managed to get out of the way of that strike from Marglashvili. And now it's Belgium with the ball again in the centre circle in the Georgia half. Bertinchon running down the right of centre, coming up towards the kickboard now with his back all the way. It's Petriashvili, the number 17. Bertinchon trying to square it across the face of the area there, but a good clearance away from Alexander Shakarashvili up towards halfway. The small number 11 coming forward, a nice bit of trickery, trying to keep possession. Sayed Selek goes flying over the top of him, and the Belgians have conceded a free kick there, and the Belgian coach on the far side, Frederic Jacquemart, just put his arms either side of his body to say, what is that free kick for? And Pete, you're about to tell us. Yes, he was just being held back. You can see Selek had his right arm over the Georgian player. And the referee's come to the near side, saying it, he held him. It's the first team foul for Belgium. So as he went down, I don't think he went down because his arm was over him. I think he was already on his way down, the Georgian, but the arm came across by Selek, and that means that there will be this free kick. Yard outside the broken line. Very central, if not slightly to the left. And Marglashvili will receive it. It'll be Shakarashvili, number 11, just to roll the ball forward, and then the 7, who's been a real menace for Belgium so far to take this. Shoots from distance, but blocked by Vespes, who leads the counter-attack. Good tackle there by Shakarashvili. And if it wasn't that tackle, and he goes in again on Vespes, who he had his arm over the Georgian player, very similar to the foul by Selek only moments earlier. It's stuck by the kickboard on the far side. The referees are counting down, and the referee blows up and says it's going to be a free kick. I think it won't be going to the Georgians, or he could be just giving a drop ball. He's got his arm in the air. It's a bit difficult to see what decision he's been given. Let's have a look at the referee. Come to the near side. So indirect free kick in advantage of Belgium, it seems like, Pete. The arm in the air signifies an indirect free kick, which means a personal foul for obstruction by Alexander Shakarashvili, who was forced to the ground. He obviously didn't want to be there, but he was sat on the ball in the end, and Belgium will get us restarted just over halfway on the left-hand side. Yeah, personal foul that went against the player, nothing added to the team. Here goes Vespes into the D, left-hand side, and just left the ball behind. Plenty of men back for Georgia. It's still with Vespes, the tall number 8. Lovely pirouette, goes into the D. One last player gets in his way, but he's going to get a free kick from around about the 8-metre distance. Good play there by Vespes. Here he goes, stands on the ball. Everyone carried on going to the left. He then goes back to the right-hand side, and Vespes then pushes the ball between players, and you can see the boots of number 7. Marglashvili comes out and trips Vespes, and it will be not only a free kick but also a team foul for Georgia as well. That's the 3rd for them. So 10 minutes, well, 9.5 minutes to be precise, left in this first half. Georgia with 3 team fouls, and Belgium with a very dangerous free kick from 8 metres out, dead centre. And it looks like that Bertinchon will just roll it forward for the oldest player in the team, the experienced Sayed Selek. And Selek will strike this towards goal. There's 4 players in the wall. Goalkeepers to the right of the goal, as viewed from where the free kick is being taken. Side Selek will receive the ball, moves slightly to the right, swing and a miss with his right boots, goes to pick up the ball, and the Georgian player gets in his way, shields the ball away from Selek, and now it's brought out by Marglashvili down the left-hand side. He runs straight into Alexander Vespes and picked up by Bertishon. Now Vespes on the left-hand side, wrestling with Shakrashvili. He gets the better of him. Lovely drag back by Vespes, going into the D from that left-hand side, goes to ground. Looks like it was just outside the D, so it's not going to be a penalty, it's going to be a free kick from all of a matter of inches outside of the D on the left-hand side. Again, lovely close control and a fantastic drag back by Alexander Vespes. It fooled two players, and then the Georgian came across, fell on the ball, and the decision really was for handball. It could have been for a foul or for the handball. Vespes then fell into the player. So the fourth team foul. They'll have to be careful now, the Georgians. Plenty of time left on the clock. And a very dangerous free kick, a lot nearer than the previous one. A yard from outside the D, so I can safely say around about 7 metres. It is to the left of centre, so the four-man wall should really be blocking at least 3/4 of the goal, maybe the near left-hand post side. And then across, and the goalkeeper will no doubt be covering the remainder. So Vespes has got a number of options here. He can strike it, because if it goes through the wall, the goalkeeper will have no time at all to react. Or he could just possibly move it to the right-hand side and then take a shot, which is what Selek did only moments earlier, but it was an air shot. There's an element of risk there because the ball will be slightly out of your control. It's going to be Vespes to take this. Referee's just making sure. The red shirts of Georgia all in this wall, and the blue shirts of Belgium with the Belgian flag across the chest. Vespes to take this free kick, left side of the D. Both posts have been tapped. Vespes passes it into the D, that goes straight into the wall, causes confusion, and Georgia try and clear their lines, blocked by Vespes for the first time, and the second opportunity, it's still live on the edge of the D. Players are having trouble to try and locate the ball, and eventually it gets passed back to the goalkeeper, who picks the ball up and will now throw it downfield.
And with Marglashvili on the ball now, back to goal. He manages to turn really nicely over halfway, darting down the centre. He's got 3 Belgians around him, no Georgians for company either. Goes down the right-hand side towards the corner. It rebounds off the kickboard, out of play, and Belgium start from the back with Adrian Bonnard. So Georgia living in on tightrope here. 14 fouls conceded from them, and you wonder if they've learnt their lesson from last night's game against Spain. Of course, they're going to have to be very careful indeed to make sure that they do not concede any more team fouls. On the left-hand side, Vespes picking up possession near the byline. He has to go back towards the halfway line a bit, then goes back on the outside again towards the byline. In the penalty area, a real chance goes in towards a very brave goalkeeper in Arakli Mandaria, who gets down low in the all-black jersey to claim the ball, throw it forward, and now Marglashvili on the counter at the other end, not for the first time in this game. Tries to get towards the right-hand side of the area. Well met, though, by Christoph Eiler, who's not the most physical of players, but still is not afraid to get his arms involved and his feet as well. Ball forward for Bertenschomm, down the right side of the area, comes towards the byline. He trips up as he tried to continue there. The Georgian player will concede a 15 foul from that one. I think it was a foul from Alexander Shakrashvili, the number 11. We'll wait for the replay to confirm that. But once again, the Georgians, with 8 minutes remaining of this first half, will have conceded a 15 foul, and they are just 1 team foul away from conceding an 8-yard penalty. Perilous stuff this at the moment from the Georgians, and Belgium, you feel, have to punish them sometime soon.
Yeah, dangerous free kick here for Belgium. Very similar position from a free kick they had only a couple of minutes earlier. This time it's to the right of the D, and that is the 5th foul, as Jonathan said. So any more for Georgia, and there's plenty of time, 7 minutes and 42 seconds to be precise, before the end of this first half. Any more fouls will result in an 8-metre penalty. So last chance saloon for the Georgians. All sorts of problems in the first match, with players being sent off through ill discipline, and I do say actually many of these penalties have been given are quite unfortunate. I think only one really I can remember was a deliberate trip. Here goes Bertichon from that free kick. Well saved by the keeper, went through the wall. Goalkeeper went down on 2 knees, hit him on his left thigh. Goes away to the left-hand side by the corner. Vespres does well. Looks like he handled the ball there. Shoots into the side netting. Real opportunity there for Belgium. Swing with his right boot, connected well, and it hits the side netting. You can see here a replay. Vespres does ever so well to go between the 2 players on the left-hand side. He manages to get back to his feet. And then inside, the timeout has been called in the meantime as we watch this replay. And here Vespres goes, strikes it past the keeper, who I think was beaten, and hits the side netting. The best chance in the match for Belgium. The timeout has been called by Georgia, and I think part of this discussion will be about those team fouls. So a real chance there for Vespres, but I think the Belgian bench will be an awful lot happier than the Georgians, who have kept the score down to 0-0 with 7.5 minutes remaining. But those 5 team fouls really do stand out.
What do you think it is, Pete, about Georgia that makes them sort of be a bit rash in certain areas? Is it the adrenaline of a first tournament? Is it the frustration of the fact that they're not getting the clear opportunities in front of goal? Are they tormented by the fact that Belgium have had a lot of possession so far in this game? What do you think is the reason why they've conceded, once again, so many team fouls?
I think it's the scrambled defence where every player goes for the ball, which means there's not a lot of communication, and it's also the skill of the opposition as well. I think it's the speed of Bertichon, the close control of Vespres, and it's causing all sorts of problems like they had against Spain in the first game. And then all you have to do is stick a leg out and be slightly late in your tackle. Georgia have done very well to qualify for these championships, but they're coming up against opponents that they're not used to playing against, and they're just slightly behind in the tackle sometimes. I don't think it's ill discipline that's got them there. It is later on in the game. That's what happened against Spain once they started to concede goals. But for the first part of the game, many of these fouls I think have just been slightly late. Nothing malicious in it, but it is a real problem for the Georgians, and it will be for the next 7.5 minutes.
And Georgia tomorrow don't have much of an easier task coming their way. At lunchtime, they face Turkey, and that will certainly not be an appetising fixture for them. And that's why Georgia see this as such an important game to try and get some points from this one. So Margalashvili charging down the centre. His close control has to be admired. The way he manages to dribble past the whole team on his own, more or less. I think he gets a free kick that time around. Syed Salek just being told by the referee, look, I admire your enthusiasm, but there's only a certain level of aggression that we can accept here that is legal. And so Georgia will have a free kick just over halfway and just on the inside left channel, more or less on the line of the centre circle in the Belgian half. The Belgians have a bit of a jagged square shape at the moment, ready to defend this ball, with Alexander Shakarashvili with his right foot on the ball, and in front of him with hands on hips is his captain Bachana Margalashvili, who will be looking to receive this pass in the all-red strip with the white sleeves and the blue trainers as well, to charge forward at the Belgians once again. Here he comes, laterally running from left to right. On the right channel of the Belgian half, he clatters into Vespers, picks up possession once again on the right-hand side, then he's felled by Vespers, who the referee signals got the ball. His rangy strides now make their way over halfway. There are 3 Belgian players up inside the Georgian half here. Bertichon with his back to goal, midway inside the Georgian half. Lovely turn away from 2 red shirts towards the left-hand side of the area, getting towards the byline now, and his back is Shakarashvili. They're both there right next to the corner quadrant. It's a back heel, it's a good back heel as well from Bertichon, but in the end the only person it finds is the man with number 1 on his back in the Georgian net, Mandaria, who bowls it out to the right hand side, and Margalashvili, the captain, striding up towards the byline. The ball goes too far for him in the end, and that will be a Belgian ball.
Yeah, throw out by the Belgian keeper downfield, where Bertichon has stayed. Controls in the centre circle, Vespres out wide on the left. Bertichon drags back away from the Georgian player, who comes in with a stern challenge. Shot from distance is wide of the right hand post, but yeah, real strong challenge there by Shakarashvili, and they do have to be careful. Roll out by the Georgian keeper to the right. Margalashvili is being dispossessed by Vespres, who's approaching the deep on the left hand side, goes beyond the last man, but he's too wide and runs the ball out of play. Helped to his feet by the keeper because he tripped on the line. But good play again by Vespres, and maybe ruined that chance from only a few minutes earlier. Roll downfield, stopped by Syed Salek, and again
It's the blue shirts of Belgium coming forward. Bertichon over halfway, dead centre now, dribbling past one, past another, inside the D, right-footed shot, but he rolled on top of the ball, and the ball rolled into the arms of the goalkeeper. A real chance for Bertichon. At the other end, it's through for the other number 7, Maglashvili, in the D, and again he misses his kick. A golden opportunity for the Georgians to take what would have been a surprise lead, and there's going to be a substitution here for Belgium. Coming onto the field for Belgium is number 4, David Dortu, who is the captain, and he'll be coming on for number 3, Said Salek. But a real chance there for Maglashvili. End-to-end football, and it would have been a real turn-up if Georgia go in front, and they do have that threat, though, through Maglashvili on the right.
In the last 60 seconds, we've seen both number 7s, the Belgian going through, Jean-Michel Bertichon, lovely show of skill and turn of pace on the right side of the area, fluffing his lines, though, right at the death, and then Maglashvili doing the exact same in the exact same position at the other end of the field for Georgia. He's done a few air shots in this game, and if he does get more opportunities like that, you have to feel it's only a matter of time before he hits the back of the net. He's the one battling away with the ball on the far side now with Vespers, and he comes out on top as well, the Georgian. Maglashvili coming towards the byline now, and it is Eiler getting the call from his goalkeeper just to let the ball trickle behind over the byline, and for a Belgian ball. Adrian Banyat will throw it towards the right-hand side, and the first touch in this game for David Dortu with his back to goal. He turns to face the halfway line, then plays the ball in field. It cannons off the ankle of Maglashvili, who responds to that cannon off his shin there by going towards the far side now, and a lovely bit of footwork again from him. Mesmerising stuff, gets to the byline, and once again can't get sufficient contact on the ball, but I think even if he had the angle would have been too tight. Belgian ball, 0-0, 5 minutes left.
Yeah, 5 minutes remaining in this first half. Throw downfield for Belgium. Tries to pick out Bertichon. Bertichon picks it up inside the final third. He's got red shirts all over his back, so he turns away from them and squares the ball over to the substitute, wearing number 4, David Dortu, who has to go back, and he leaves it for Vespers, who is dispossessed by Maglashvili, who's done a lot of running and might run out of steam, and gives away a foul there on Vespers, and that was a needless foul. Really went for the tall number 8 of Belgium. And that's going to be the 6th foul, so an 8-metre penalty kick. And I mentioned many of the fouls so far for Georgia are quite accidental, but there was nothing accidental about that. It was a bit of ill discipline that's crept into the Georgian game at pretty much the same point of this game as they did for the first. Remember, they held Spain for 15 minutes until they conceded 8. Is Lightning going to strike twice here? It's going to be Alexander Vespers from the 8-metre mark with this penalty kick. Remember, 4.5 minutes remaining. Any more fouls will result in more of these 8-metre kicks. Referees just checking the eyewear of Alexander Vespers, of course. If you had any small sight on the ball here, it would be a tremendous advantage when striking. You can see he's got his left hand on the ball, and then he's going to take one giant step back. His standing left foot will remain, and then strike it with his right boot. Sometimes people take a double step. I've seen Alexander Vespers before, and because of his very, very long legs, he can really gain a huge arch and then strike with quite a lot of power for one step. Vespers from the penalty spot, straight at the keeper. Well saved, stood up well, still inside the final third. With Dortu, the substitute, who goes to ground. Big clatter revolves around the stadium. Quite a big individual. Referee's now counting because the ball is trapped on the sideline. I think it's the two Belgians, actually, who are trying to wrestle with each other. There goes Dortu inside the D, now just outside on the right-hand side. Vespers is on the left-hand side, along with number 7, Bertichon. But eventually, it's going to be a foul for Georgia. And the number 7, Maglashvili, is a relieved man, and Georgian team supporters and the coaches can breathe a sigh of relief.
They absolutely can, and they have got Irakli Mandaria to thank for that. Not the hardest of saves to make, to be fair. It was quite sort of straight at him, but he had to make sure he parried it into an area where a rebound was not possible. And the rebound came back at Vespers too fast for him to get a grasp of the ball and strike once again at goal. So it's a third team foul for Belgium. Georgia still on their 5. A collision on the edge of the centre circle inside the Georgian half between Vespers and Maglashvili. Not the first time that they have locked horns together. And now Barton-Chomp on this right-hand side, making his way infield laterally. Pokes it with the left foot towards the left-hand side, and Vespers with those long legs trying to stretch out for the ball. Just manages to pick up the ball on the byline. He's got 4 red shirts around him. He's really attracting a lot of attention here, Vespers. One of them eventually tackles him, and that is Bachuk Kaiser, who comes over the halfway line. He just kicks it forward into the corner. And I really think that the tactics of Georgia are, when you get the ball, if you're not Margrashvili, just kick it away into the corners and give yourself a bit of a breather, and the rest of your defenders as well. Georgia aren't here to run right with goals. They're here to make sure they don't lose this match. And Belgium responding to those tactics with a substitution. Of course, Georgia don't have that luxury with just the 5 players on their roster for this game due to suspension and injury as well. And just a limited amount of players in the Georgian programme as a whole. Christophe Eilert going off for Belgium, the number 2, replaced by the big number 9, Kevin van der Sport. I know this tag goes for Romelu Lukaku, but he really is the big Belgian, the number 9, Kevin van der Sport. As the ball is thrown down the left-hand side, Vespers picks up control of the ball, left corner of the centre circle, making his way laterally from left to right, then stops in the centre, charges his way through 3 red shirts. Vespers all the way stood on the ball with his left foot as he tried to strike with his right. And of course, when you've got long, gangly legs like Vespers, it's difficult to keep track of the ball, whether you're sighted or not. Great dribbling initially from Vespers, couldn't pull the trigger efficiently and put the ball into the back of the Georgian net. So the ball going down the right-hand side for Belgium here towards the byline. Barton-Chomp trying to pick up possession of the ball. He fails to do so, and it will be a Georgian ball.
Yeah, 3 minutes remaining in this first half, and, well, Georgia have really managed to weather the storm of having the 5 fouls against their team, and they've only had the 1 penalty kick to survive. Here goes Margrashvili, shoots from distance. It hits the Belgium defence, so he has to go back to the halfway line to recover the ball. He does so and starts another attack. There's only 1 man between him and the goal, and this time he just gets the ball stuck against the kickboard on the right-hand side. Good tackle by Alexander Vespers, who's been waspish in his tackles on that left-hand side. But once again, Margrashvili just stands on the ball. He's still got the ball inside the final third. If he can drift inside, he can maybe get a shot at goal. He's just played the ball back to the halfway line, so inadvertently passes to Barton-Chomp. Over the halfway, plenty of pace, shot from distance, straight at the goalkeeper, goes down on 2 knees and saves well. Quick roll out to the right to find the other number 7. And again, Margrashvili picks it up. Again, likes to go down that right-hand side, but Vespers is back and wins the ball back for Belgium, who have 2 minutes to try and make advantage of this team fouls, and they might have done it right here. Margrashvili stuck out a leg, Vespers went past him, and it's going to be another 8-metre penalty kick, and we'll see who takes this one. And of course, on the field now, there is number 9, Kevin van der Sport, but van der Sport turns away, so it's going to be number 7, Barton-Chomp.
Just a quick word as well from Vespers. He came on as a substitute, I think, to sort of match the pace of Margrashvili. He's done his job very well so far. Nice nutmeg on the halfway line on the Belgian left to, in the end, initiate the contact from Margrashvili. Another chance, as you say, Pete, for Belgium to eventually take the lead in this game. 2 minutes remaining.
So Barton-Chomp from the 8-metre mark. The goalkeeper for Georgia, Mandaria, waits on his line. He's already saved one. It was straight at him, but still, even though the ball's coming towards you, you still have to be ready and also parry it away from goal. It actually came off his knees and back into play. And I think the previous 8-metre penalty taken by Alexander Vespers was not his greatest. Let's see what Barton-Chomp can do here. Royal Blue Boots will strike the ball with the logo for the IBSA Blind Football European Championships 2017 here in the wonderful city of Berlin. Shooting towards the giant scoreboard end. Barton-Chomp strikes it straight at the goalkeeper, parries it back out once again, and Belgium will have another opportunity from the broken line. Alexander Vespers picks the ball up on the right-hand side. Lovely drag back once again. Does it again down the right-hand side, falls the defence, and he goes towards the corner. Into the D he goes, but runs into a red wall, and it's going to be out for a corner to Belgium. But that's 2 penalty kicks they've missed from the 8-metre line, and it's still goalless with over a minute and a half to go.
Yeah, Georgia live to fight for another few minutes in this first period with the score still at 0-0. It would be harsh on Georgia if they did go a goal behind, but you have to say with the pressure Belgium have put on, particularly in the last few moments with the 2 penalties, that you can't complain if they did notch their name onto the score sheet. So on the near side, the corner to be taken by a combination of Jean-Michel Beauchamp, number 7, and Kevin van der Spoort as well. The ball played across the face of the penalty area, diagonally backwards as well. Vespers managing to retrieve the ball and goes down the left-hand side, and yet another trip from Marglashvili. And you know what, Belgium, you're going to get a third opportunity at taking this one and putting it in the back of the net. Will it be third time lucky?
It's going to be the third time they're going to take a penalty from the 8-metre mark. And this time it's going to be Kevin van der Spoort step forward. I thought he was going to take the previous one. So Alexander Vespers has missed one. Berticham has missed one. And here goes Kevin van der Spoort, the giant centre forward. It's the 5th personal foul as well. So the player will have to go off. So Georgia, not only have they no substitutes to bring on, they're going to be down now to 3 outfield players. And also for Georgia, the player leaving is their number 7, Marglashvili, who has been their main goal threat as well. So Georgia up against it, trying to keep the Belgians down to 0, but now up against it in trying to score. So penalty to Belgium. 8-metre, again, for the 3rd time against the now 4 men of Georgia. Van der Spoort. He's going to step forward with his left foot. He's going to plant it next to the ball and then strike with his right, and he slices it horribly wide of the right-hand post. He didn't get his left foot level with the ball. It was too far behind, so he was always reaching for the ball. And it goes out for a goalkeeping restart for Georgia, the 4 men of Georgia.
Well, they've lived dangerously, Georgia, with 3 penalties against them. Belgium missing all 3. And now they've got 3 outfield players to try and battle away against the 4 of Belgium. Vespers, right-hand side of the penalty area on the angle, tries to shoot with the right foot. He completely misses it, however. Good pressure behind him from Shakarashvili. And the ball rolls out for a Georgian ball, which will be taken by Mandaria. He's saved 2 already. He's seen another fly past his left hand upright. And he throws the ball forward, searching for Shakarashvili, who scampers down the left-hand side. He, against Van der Spoort, you have to say, a bit of a mismatch. And the referee siding with Shakarashvili there in that physical battle between the 2. Georgia have a free kick. This could be the 4th team foul of the game for Belgium. And with just over a minute left, they shouldn't be in too much danger of conceding a 5th and 6th team foul. However, discipline an issue for both sides in this first period. Same story as far as Georgia are concerned, but Belgium have to make sure they don't succumb to that level as well. So it's a free kick, left-hand side for Georgia, right next to the kickboard, with the number 17, Georgi Petriashvili, stood behind Alexander Shakarashvili. Of course, not only Marglashvili going off means they lost their captain and they've lost a man on the field, they've lost their star player as well. He was their main outlet, their only outlet in attacking sense. So how are Georgia going to negotiate this one? They've got a 3-man wall in front of them. Shakarashvili having the ball now just inside the attacking zone, goes down under the challenge of Berticham. No free kick, says the referee, and then an ambitious back heel from Shakarashvili to try and get the ball away from Dortu. The ball, due to the power and pace of it, goes behind straight away for a goalkeeper's ball. Bonnat throwing it forward. Vespers, right side of the area on the angle. 3 attempts at trying to strike it on the 3rd one. He sort of stood on the ball and it skewed under his foot and wide and out for a Georgian ball. So it looks like Georgia are going to get a clean sheet in this first half. Their first clean sheet in an international tournament. Can they get a goal as well? Well, they're going to get a corner on the right-hand side. Dortu having to retreat there after Shakarashvili scampered down the right-hand side and looked threatening as he embarked on Adrian Bonnat's goal. So it's a corner on the right-hand side. Alexander Shakarashvili joined by teammate Georgi Petriashvili on the far side. And can they work this one into the back of the net? A very difficult task indeed. Georgia have one man back. Vespers also up there as well to keep the Georgian defender Kajia company. Going for the scenic route there was Shakarashvili. Rather than going around the outside, he went for the direct route of the byline. And it goes out of play for another corner, once again, via David Dortu. So this is a period of territorial advantage that Georgia perhaps weren't expecting when they were down to 4 men. But they're enjoying it at the moment. Another corner on that far side, the right. There are 2 players in sky blue circling around. One of them is David Dortu, who stood on the byline. The other is the captain for Belgium, Jean-Michel Bertenchamp, who stood just outside the corner of his own D. Alexander Shakarashvili receives the ball then. Once again, clatters into Dortu on the byline. Shakarashvili keeping the ball just on the byline here. He'll be well aware of where he is on the pitch due to the guard behind the goal saying, you're right on the edge of the pitch here, don't move any further forward with it. A touch there coming off Bertenchamp means it's the 3rd successive corner for Georgia, who have 20 seconds to go. They're certainly not entertaining the thought of putting up everybody forward here. However, Pitrashvili will go up to join Shakarashvili for this corner. And if they don't get anything from this, it will be the first 0-0 we've had in the first half of a game at these championships so far. Our man Pete Selby saying beforehand this game had goals in it. They may do, but they haven't arrived yet. 3 missed penalties as well. Shakarashvili with the corner then. Right-hand side, dribbling his way towards the byline, shot from a very tight angle indeed. An ambitious drive towards the near post. Hits the side netting immediately. Ball forward is the ball by Bonya, looking for Vespers. But the ball just rolls through all the way to his opposite number, Mandaria. Inside the final 10 seconds, ball bowled down the left-hand side, and it will roll all the way out for a goalkeeper's ball for Bonya. He throws it down the centre, and we get the half-time whistle. So for the first time in these blind football European Championships 2017 in Berlin, we have a goalless first half. Certainly a lot to talk about, however, for our man Pete Selby alongside Alan March in the studio in a few moments' time with their half-time summary. 3 missed penalties for Belgium, 1 from Alexander Vespers, saved by Irakli Mandaria, and then Jean-Michel Bertenchamp, the captain, he failed to get the ball past the Georgian keeper as well. A second save from him. And the 3rd penalty from Kevin van der Spoort, well, it didn't even require Mandaria to move a muscle, because van der Spoort completely skewed his lines and hit the ball wide of the Georgian net. So half-time then, Belgium 0, Georgia 0. No goals for Alan March and Pete Selby to decipher, but a lot of drama nonetheless. We'll pass over to them now in the studio.
Well, the temperature's cooled here in Berlin, and so is the action somewhat. There should be goals in this, Pete Selby, but it's still 0-0. The first, as Jonathan was saying in commentary, of the competition so far.
Yeah. 3 missed penalties from the 8-metre mark. Georgia once again ill-disciplined, just like the first game against Spain. And similar to Spain, they held Belgium to 15 minutes. They held them until they had those 5 penalty fouls. And then they had penalty kicks, but unfortunately for Belgium, they just couldn't make them pay. On top of that, their main goal threat, Maglashvili, is now off the field. 5 personal fouls. He will not be making an appearance in the second half. So now they're down to 4.
And here are those 3 missed penalty kicks.
So 3 penalty kicks for Belgium, all from 8 metres, so quite a distance. The first one, you can see it towards the scoreboard end, taken by Alexander Vespers, was straight at the goalkeeper, read it quite well, just had to move his feet slightly to the left-hand side. The second, once again, Bertichon this time, number 7, straight at the goalkeeper again, hardly had to move.
Safe to say, though, the 3rd of the penalties, and this is not a replay that Belgian fans will want to see, unfortunately. Squirming way wide, and you see the guy behind the goal just standing up and, well, exasperated slightly. So nothing all. We talked about the discipline levels earlier on. We showed a statistic of team fouls. Individual fouls, though, become quite important as well.
Yeah, very important. Maglashvili was their main attacking threat, and he had a number of chances in that first half to actually score for Georgia. But the problem is with Maglashvili, 2 or 3 of those latter fouls were all out of ill discipline. It wasn't because he was slightly late with his tackles, it was because he thrashed out a right leg to bring down a player on purpose, and that's ill discipline. Yes, 1 or 2 team fouls can be caused by accidental collisions or accidental tangling of feet, but ill discipline like that, it doesn't help anyone, doesn't help your team, and now they're down to 4 for the remaining 20 minutes.
So we'll take a look at the league table as it currently stands on the screen. Coming up, it's Spain versus Russia tomorrow. That's the 11 o'clock kickoff. But here, Belgium and Georgia failing to give us a goal so far. And, well, they would have a point each at least. But you fancy that they would be a must-win for both teams here?
I think it's a must-win for both teams, and I think definitely now a must-win for Belgium. With Georgia being down to 4 players, I can't see anything but Belgium going on to score at least once or twice and taking this game. But the longer it will go on, the more nervous the Belgians will be, because they're expected to win this game from the start, but also especially win it now. Now the Georgians are down to 4.
Okay, we'll have another look at Group A in a couple of moments, just to remind ourselves how Day 3 will finish for Group A. That will be up. So a 4-0 victory for Italy a little bit earlier on. That cracker between France and Germany, which means it's now England, Italy, Germany and France all on 3 points. And a big game tomorrow at 5 o'clock, England versus France. So France taking that victory against Germany. England with another victory would leave Germany pretty much an insurmountable task to get through. However, if France are to beat England, all of a sudden that last game in the group, England versus Germany, where have we seen all those before? That becomes massive again, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, definitely. For the neutrals, it would really be great if it goes down to that last game of the group to then go forward to the semi-finals. But the English coaching staff, they're very, very optimistic of getting the results against France. And, well, we're not going to wait for long, because it's tomorrow at 5 o'clock, 1 of 4, also cracking games on the card.
Okay, so we've been joined by one of our German audio describers who's also covering the competition. So not only is this competition available with English commentary on YouTube and Facebook, it's also available in Germany with German commentary on YouTube and Facebook as well. Florian, thank you very much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you.
Now, you're an audio describer in the Blind Bundesliga that's here in Germany. Tell us a little bit more about the league.
Yeah, it's a league that there are 8 teams in the league, and it exists since 2008 with different teams over the years. The longest teams are from Marburg, from Stuttgart, from St. Pauli, from Chemnitz, and yeah, in this year there is the 10th German Bundesliga winner, and it will be Marburg or St. Pauli. Yeah. It's nice, I guess. For the players, it is a real good chance to have a play practice all the time, as in other countries where this is not possible. And in the teams, they train about 1 or sometimes 2 times the week. So a nice thing for the players to be in routine, I guess.
Does it help the national team to have a league at its exposure, to sort of look at 10 teams all the time and be able to take the best? Is that helpful for the national team?
Yeah, I think so. The national trainer can look at the different dates where they play, and he can have a look at the different teams. And most we meet all together, the teams meet all together to 4 or 5 dates in the year, and then play at a full weekend, more games than 1 game. These are about 10 games over the weekend, 5 on Saturday, 5 on Sunday, and the national trainer then often is there with his team, his staff, and they can have an exact look on all the players at the same time. So this is very nice for him, I guess.
A disappointing result for Germany a little bit earlier on. Do you believe they could still make it through the group?
It is difficult, I think. Romania, they have to win against Romania. This should be possible, but the last game then is against England, and we will see on Wednesday who will be the best day, who will have the best day.
It's been very friendly in the commentary box. We've got a team of German commentators, we've got a team of English commentators, and we've all been getting on, and I feel that it's going to go down to that Germany and England game. We're just taking a look at some of the highlights from earlier on, Florian, here, and France were just clinical from the spot, but they were just, there was missed chances for Germany in that game, wasn't there?
Yeah, 3 at the count. We see Rasmus Najes, who shot there and shot directly into the middle of the goal, so there was no problem for the goalkeeper to keep this ball. And there was another 6 meter from Jonathan Tönsing, and he shot against the bar. So yeah, we see now the France player who countered this mislead, and yeah, it was a bit unlucky for us, I can say.
Hard to watch and hard to commentate on. Just as we see that, the players are starting to make their way back onto the field. One very last quick question. If not Germany, who do you think at the moment looks strong enough to win this competition?
I've seen all the teams, and I think England was very good, Spain and Turkey also. But maybe Russia could be, could be in at the final 2 or at the best 4 or 3 teams.
There you go. A member of Germany saying that England might just win these championships. The players are making their way out. Thank you very much to Florian. We'll hand back over to our commentary team of Jonathan Bell and Peter Selby.
Thank you, Florian. Thank you, Alan, as well. We are ready indeed for the second half to get underway in a few moments' time. The Belgians are back onto the field of play. Currently just talking to the goalkeeper, Adrien Bonnet, who may be dishing out some last instructions before the second half gets underway. The Georgians back onto the field, and there are 5 Georgians on the pitch at the moment. Returning is number 7, Vachana Maglashvili, the captain, after being dismissed in the first period for a 5th personal foul. He's returned into the fray for the second half of this game, and he in fact has been instructed to leave the field again. I was wondering there, Pete, he was making his way back onto the field of play. He was trying to be cheeky and get on for the second half, but he's off because of the 5 personal fouls. There was no yellow cards for him, no red cards, 5 personal fouls just like basketball, and you're off for the rest of the game.
That's worth a try. Why not? Why not indeed? But referees, maybe actually could have been sent on by one of the referees just to test whether the referees were paying notice. You never know, these things could happen. But no, I think the Georgian coach is just coming to the side now just to have the full details of what happened. It's 5 personal fouls, so 5 personal fouls mean that the player cannot come back on the field of play. Obviously, they haven't got any substitutes either. And you can see there the Georgian coach just being told exactly what the problem is. I think that would have changed their team talk if he realised that that was going to happen. So there's only 3 outfield players for Georgia, the 4 of Belgium, but it is goalless, and the team fouls have been reset. There's the Georgian coach, who's obviously, as well as the coaches behind the goals, were not entirely sure what was going on, but yeah, taken everyone by surprise, that. But Georgia, it is their first international tournament, and the rules have been slightly changed with team fouls, size of goals, also the time stop in, so it is a slight learning curve for most of the teams. But here go Georgia, the 3 men of Georgia now, with Shaklashvili, who will be the main attacking threat down the left-hand side. Shaklashvili, number 11, trying to drag the ball back towards the D, holding off the attention of 2 Belgian players. He's going to turn now and probably strike at goal. He does so, but can't get a shot in, and drags the ball out of play for a goal kick to Belgium. Throwing downfield, and I would expect Belgium to have plenty of players forward, including Alexander Vespes in the D, shot straight at the goalkeeper, and he hits the goalkeeper with a swinging right boot. He was inside his own penalty square, his own goalkeeping square, and that was dangerous play by Alexander Vespes. You can see he picked the ball up. His first shot was well saved at the goalkeeper from point blank range, and then here Vespes tries to swing for the ball. The ball's in the hands of the goalkeeper. I don't think he caught him, apart from maybe on the end of the toe. The goalkeeper's holding his knee, but he just caught the end of his toe. he's okay to carry on with, but dangerous play there by Alexander Vespes. And the referee comes to the near side and he's going to give, obviously, a team foul for Belgium. And it will be number 8, Alexander Vespes, who's been given the yellow card as well. So the first team foul and the yellow card for number 8, Alexander Vespes from Belgium. And he was lucky, it's only yellow, I would say. So free kick to Georgia on the edge of their own D.
If the goalkeepers ever doubted how hard the attackers were kicking the ball, I think they felt it then through Vespes, kicking the right foot of Mandaria. So Georgia restarting play with a free kick on the edge of their own penalty area, and it'll be another free kick there. Again, Vespes, the man who brings down Shakarashvili, and the referee may have a decision to make here. Of course, we've already had Margarashvili dismissed through 5 personal fouls, no yellow cards at all for him, but on a caution is Vespes. 2 fouls in quick succession, just a team foul that time around for Belgium. And so I think Vespes will be on his final warning there. So another free kick for Georgia. Small baby steps for them, just from the edge of the penalty area, and now just over the broken line with this free kick in a dead central position. And it will be taking it once again, the number 11, Alexander Shakarashvili. Just behind him is Georgi Petriashvili. And a combination of those two will get the ball away down the centre. Good tackle from the captain of Belgium, though, Jean-Michel Bertenschamp, starting from the centre to the left-hand side of the area, then checks back onto the right foot, squares it for Vespes. He loses track of the ball as he has his back to goal there and lets the ball run in front of his body towards the right-hand side. He's got 2 Georgia in front of him there. He falls to the ground, Vespes. I thought he was fouled. The right corner of the box, he still continues on the left foot, then turns back on the right, on the angle, shot low, and a really good block from Alexander Shakarashvili. Georgia may be down to 4 men here, but they are giving it their all.
Yeah, the line on the floor are the red shirts of Georgia blocking the shots. Lovely pirouette and step over by Alexander Vespes inside the D, but his shot was well blocked by the lying down Shakarashvili, and it's going to be a corner to Belgium on the right-hand side. It's going to be a combination of the giant Van der Spoor and number 7 Bertenschamp on the right-hand side. Vespes on the left-hand side of the D, and it's going to be Van der Spoor to take this. Goes back towards the broken line, stops, back towards the corner flag, shoots from an acute angle, and it's wide of the near post, high up into the stand. And it's going to be a restart for Georgia. Down to those 4 men, 3 outfield players, over on throw, down the left-hand side. The goalkeepers have a lot of work to do in this second half, and that's surely a foul there by Kevin Van der Spoor. Yes, seen by the referee, pulling back on Shakarashvili, and it's going to be a free kick to Georgia, and also it's going to be another team foul for Belgium, and I make that the 3rd for Belgium in the early stages. Only just over a minute gone in this second half, and Belgium already up to 3 team fouls.
Fair play to Alexander Shakarashvili, the number 11 of Georgia. He's got a very difficult task in order to fill the boots of Vachana Margarashvili after he got dismissed at the end of the first period. And you have to say, he's stepped up to the standard required of him, Shakarashvili. He's attracted 3 fouls in the first minute of this second period, and already Belgium are over halfway to the point of conceding an 8-metre penalty. Only a free kick for now. 3 Belgians in the wall. Free kick taken just in the inside left channel, and around midway between the halfway line and the broken line. Shakarashvili now darting past all 3 of them towards the edge of the box. Real opportunity. Oh, he just ran too quick for the ball, and it squirms through towards the goalkeeper Bonya, who will hold it with 2 hands before bowling it down the centre. Vespes now has a man in his back. He controls well on the edge of the centre circle. Still back to goal. Turns away from one player, then clashes head with the opposite number 8 there, Bachuk Kazia. And this is a battle of the gladiators at the moment, an absolute bloodbath on the field. Vespes coming off worse there after conceding 2 early fouls in this game, and he will get a free kick just outside the broken line, Pete.
Yeah, 8 versus 8, head versus head, and it's going to be a free kick to Belgium just outside the broken line. A sickening clash, but very happy to report that both players are on their feet. It's going to be a free kick to Belgium from a central position. And it's the first team foul for Georgia. So in these early stages, Georgia losing by 3 goals to 1 by team fouls. And I'm pretty sure they'll be delighted with that scoreline. And also the fact that it's goalless when they're down to 4 men. Van der Spoor from that right-hand side. Just tried to prod it forward to try and find Bertenschamp. And it's probably behind by Georgia for a corner to Belgium. Belgium will be mightily disappointed if they can't turn this possession, chances, and also one-man advantage into 3 points. They've got plenty of people on the field at the moment who can score, the likes of Van der Spoor and Bertie Schom, and of course Alexander Vespers with all his step-overs and Marseille roulettes. But it's going to be a corner from the right. This time Bertie Schom will take it, and Van der Spoor will just act as the person to tap the ball. Here goes Bertie Schom back to the broken line, tries to play it in for Vespers if he can control, get a clean shot on goal, goes wide of the left-hand post. Another glorious chance for Belgium goes a-begging.
Belter Vespers on the left corner of the D there, managed to work an angle on the left side of the area, but just couldn't wrap his foot around it, and it went past the near post. And you have to feel that surely Belgium will take an opportunity sooner rather than later. Belgium have drawn 0-0 in these championships before. They drew 0-0 with Russia in 2015. Of course, Russia ended up getting to the final of that competition. So Belgium do have experience of being able to grind out results, but against a team like Georgia in their first championships, you'd feel they'll be able to pull something out the stops. And another free kick here against Belgium, and down this time around is Georgi Petrashvili. You can just tell by the size of him that he is not someone that will go down easily. He's clutching at the blindfold there. Vespers just charging into him. Oh, in fact, it's his own player, Alexander Shakarashvili, who headbutts Georgi Petrashvili. That's a lack of communication. No wrongdoing from Vespers, and I think a free kick is going to be given against Vespers here. Of course, the officials don't have the replay like we do up here in the commentary position. We do have that privilege, but on the big screen, it was quite clear for those in the crowd to see that Alexander Shakarashvili is the man who collided into his own teammates. So a fourth team foul for Belgium, and Georgia are actually on way less team fouls than Belgium.
Yeah, 14 fouls, and the medical personnel come onto the field. It was a collision by the two Georgians, as Jonathan rightly said, and it was the presence and a little bit of pushing by Alexander Vespers which caused that collision, really. I think it was an element of accidental play as well. But two players are down, and in a bad way. The one thing that the Georgians do not want is to be losing another player, and then they'll be really up against it. It's still 0-0, and the one thing that the Georgians do have is that Belgium have 14 fouls in these early stages. Only a minute 40 gone in the second half, and they've already have 4 of their 5 allotted team fouls. So Georgia, yes, down to 4 men, but they do have that team foul advantage. But there is a real issue on the field now. Georgia might be down to 3, and if so, they'll find it very tough to keep out the Belgians. But again, the Belgians with those 14 fouls can't say enough how early it is in this second half, and that could really come into play, and there could be a real shock on the cards here, Jono.
A nosebleed then seems to be the diagnosis for Georgi Petrashvili, as he is led behind the goal by the medical team. The first time that they've been called into action this week, and they're doing a thoroughly good job there in the corner as well. So Georgia now have 2 outfield players, and there is not much they could have done about that one. Sort of shooting themselves in the foot there, but we've had more human dodgems in the first 100 seconds of this second half than we've had at blind football. And 1:40 into the second period, another free kick for Georgia, and Belgium just 1 away from conceding an 8-metre penalty.
Yeah, so only 2 outfield players for Georgia at the moment, really up against it, and all sorts of medical personnel hurrying around the edge of the pitch. So fingers crossed everything's all right there. So the game's going to get back underway with Georgia inside their own third on the broken line, and well, with 2 men, what can they do? They can play into their own hands and run straight into Kevin Van der Spoor, and nothing's given. It was a clean tackle, and I think a bit of dissent here shown by number 11, Shaklashvili, who just had a word with the referee. He wasn't happy that the foul wasn't given, but obviously a volley was called by Kevin Van der Spoor, so no foul can be given. I think that's what he was appealing, obviously knowing the fact that there is only 1 team foul left for Belgium, as more medical attention is applied on the side of the field. A yellow card has been given to number 11, Shaklashvili, for descent. And that will also go down as a team foul as well for Georgia. So Georgia will be up to 2 team fouls.
I'm not sure if this has been taken as a foul or not. The official's gone to the far side. Yeah, you're right, Pete. It will be a foul given against Shaklashvili, and it is a team foul as well.
There's the yellow card branded, and it's the 4th foul as well for Shaklashvili, so he's only got 1 remaining as well, personal foul possibly.
Maybe it was a personal foul, that, Pete, because the referee
That's
initially,
correct.
he swirled his right hand in the air to signify a team foul, but then the red card was not shown by the official on the desk on the far side to confirm that. So just the 1 team foul for Georgia in this second period, due to that man there, Alexandre Shaklashvili, who is duly booked as well. Belgium will start from the edge of their own penalty area with their team captain David Dortu.
That's correct, yes, just a personal foul there. Doesn't go against the Georgians, so they're still remaining on the 1. But a yellow card, and happy to report back on the field of play. Georgia back to 3. Number 17, Shaklashvili, has I think a bit of cotton wool stuck up his nose, and hopefully hope all the medical attention will work and he can continue in this game, because Georgia are down to 3 outfield players, but you don't want to be down to 2 at all, especially against a very hungry Belgian team. Back with Belgium inside the centre circle, and the arms go around number 7, Bertichon, as he comes to the near side, tries to switch play over, and there's a bit of impetus in the game now. I think Belgium know that they're in a tie, and they know that they've got them 14 fouls. Bertichon inside his own half, tries to go over to the left-hand side. Good tackle comes in from Shaklashvili. Remember, he's got those 4 personal fouls against him, but here goes Bertichon over the broken line by the left-hand kickboard. He's got Van der Spoor and Vespes over to his right-hand side. He finds Vespes, who again has been in the wars today and given away plenty of fouls. He goes slalom-like, shot from distance, straight at the goalkeeper after weaving in and out of defenders. And an underarm throw by the goalkeeper down the left-hand side will not find a Georgian player, because they're all inside their own third, including number 11, Shaklashvili, who's actually sitting on the ground. Now he gets up, and there doesn't look to be an awful lot of movement left in that Georgian side. Good sliding control by Vespes on the right. Goes past one, goes past another, into the D. Can't get a shot off on goal. Goalkeeper again brave on the edge of his square.
I really admire the way Georgia have played in this second period. Of course, they're down a man. Momentarily, they were down 2 men as well. They've got Turkey tomorrow, though, and fatigue may play into that, but I'm sure they'll be focusing on this game only at the moment and just coming out of this with the clean sheet they've got at the moment. Vespers trying to turn on the edge of the broken line. Fantastic performance from Shaklashvili so far, and he battles with him all the way. Those 2 going to ground. The ball squirms towards the left-hand side as well. And the ball now is with Bertichon, tries to switch the play to the right-hand side of the area in Van der Spoor, near the byline, and he's pressed his body up against the kickboard as well. The reaction's too slow from Van der Spoor, though, who couldn't locate the ball. However, he does win a corner for his team, so he will stand in the corner and wait for his captain, Jean-Michel Bertichon, to come over as well and support him with this. All 3 Georgians are back and being instructed by their goalkeeper, Irakli Mandaria, as to where to go. And Belgium with another set piece. I don't think we've been out of the Georgian half for a vast majority of the 3.5 minutes we've had so far. Van der Spoor trying to control the ball as he goes back towards the broken line, stops, then goes back on the outside right again, goes for a shot, and I think that has gone back to Brussels as he fires it behind the byline and out of play for a goal kick for Georgia.
Yeah, long throw downfield, only 1 man forward. Number 11, Shaklashvili, does control on the broken line. Can't pick it up at the first time of asking. Now at the second bite of the cherry on the far side, picks it up for the red shirts. Tackled by Van der Spoor, who collides with him, nothing given. And now it's with Bertichon coming over to the near side into Georgian territory. Bertichon just tries to chip the ball forward. Can it be picked up by Vespes? Yes, it can. Again, a shot, point blank range, well saved by the keeper. And he has the reactions of a cat to go back onto his own line and double fist the ball away from the goal line, out for a corner. Brave goalkeeping and good reactions. Good turn here by Veszpress, only a yard out. His shot was saved by the goalkeeper. The ball's heading into the net, and then great reactions to palm it round for this corner.
Brilliant reactions indeed from Mandaria. And this is going to be like a training session from him, the amount of efforts towards his goal that are going to occur over the course of the next 15 minutes or so. Of course, we've only had just over 4 minutes of this second period. We've had a lot more in realistic terms. However, the clock stops whenever the ball goes out of play. Berdenschamp, dead central, just outside the area, having to be forced back now towards halfway. So a bit of respite momentarily for Georgia. Berdenschamp battling with the kickboard on the far side as he controls the ball and now comes laterally from right to left over halfway. Stamps on the ball on the centre spot inadvertently, then can stop. He's getting the call from the coaches to say that you've got a bit of room and time. Now the ball to the right, and Vespers just outside the penalty area. Falls back to the broken line due to the good pressure from Petriashvili. But then Vespers, nice wide arc from him, gets to the left side of the area, goes for the shot. He clatters in there to Kazia, the number 8 for Georgia. And the referee says that is a free kick right on the edge of the area. First we'll see Vespers' initial effort towards the goal, which was superbly saved instinctively. Mandaria managing to get there, but it'd be interesting to see just how far outside the penalty area that foul was there from Kazia, the number 8, and whether it was actually a free kick. The ball literally a couple of inches outside of the penalty area, and this should also be a second foul, a team foul for Georgia as well, just being demonstrated by the referee to the far side right now, just off your screen. But standing over the ball on the left corner of the area is Jean-Michel Bertenschamp, the captain, and in front of him is Kevin van der Spoort. But Pete, as we can see here, Vespers coming towards the left corner of the box, slightly tripped by the flailing leg of Kazia. Of course, he didn't mean it, but he did stop Vespers from making inroads towards the penalty box.
That's right, and Vespers, you can see on the right side of the D, in all sorts of space. The only 3 players for Georgia are in this wall. Kevin van der Spoort, you see there from this angle. 3 men in the wall. Is he going to square it for Vespers? Van der Spoort takes a shot wide of the right-hand post. He was curling around, but it curled too late. And another shot goes wide. And the time will tick on for Georgia and their efforts to hold off this Belgium attack. 5 minutes have gone in this second half, and we've had plenty of incidents already in these 5 minutes. It's back with the Belgian once again. The play is all in the Georgian half. Bertenschamp goes from the left over to the right-hand side, brought down, tripped from behind by Shaklashvili. And is that his 5th foul? I think so. There could be some real issues here for the Georgian team. And Shaklashvili very eager to get back. Tripped the Belgian player from behind. And the referees are going to come to the centre line and signify their decisions. Foul by number 11. Chopping motion from behind. It's the 5th foul, and it's the 3rd team foul. So Georgia up to 3. And it is the 5th foul for number 11, and that's Alexander Shaklashvili. And Shaklashvili in the wall is being told he's going to have to go off the field. So now only 2 players remain outfield for Georgia. 2 players are off for the reg of the Georgians. And Shaklashvili was living on a knife edge in the first half of those 4 fouls. His 5th foul results in him being escorted off the field. So Belgium will have a free kick on the edge of the broken line on the right-hand side, inside the Georgian half, which they've been camped in for the first 5 minutes of this second half, and they've only got 2 opponents outfield. The Georgian goalkeeper stands with one hand on his hip, looking quite perplexed, knowing that he's in for a busy 15 minutes. Free kick taken. Alexander Vespers beats the 1 remaining player outside of the D. Past the second. Good save by the keeper. And again, very brave on the floor. 3rd bite of the cherry for Vespers. Still can't score. Out wide on the right-hand side. He picks the ball up for Belgium. Squares it to the 2 remaining players inside the D. They can't pick it up. The 2 players for Georgia really helpless at the moment. It's Bertenschamp from deep. Central position. Scuffs his shot out wide to the right. Picked up again by the gangly Alexander Vespers. He goes back to the halfway line, starts in the run once again. Only 2 red shirts in front of him. Vespers, slalom-like, goes to the right-hand side, edge of the D, can't get good contact on the ball. It runs out for a goalkeeping restart.
One thing I will say, Pete, now we've only got 2 outfield players, we might see a few less fouls and stoppages because there aren't enough players on the pitch to commit them. And the way this has gone so far, 5 minutes 47 gone in the second period. If you have got anywhere to be tonight, you might have to cancel your plans, because we could be here right the way through the night. So a timeout has been called, I think from the Georgians, just to retrieve probably a one-on-one chat at the moment with the Georgian team bench and the players as well. But Pete, the lifeline they've got is Belgium have 4 X's under their name.
It is, that is correct, Sir Jonathan. There's 4 for Belgium, 3 for Georgia. Just a word really on the rules, just to reiterate, if Georgia do lose another player, then unfortunately they will not be able to carry on the match. So if Georgia lose one more player, they will not be able to carry on the match, and it'll be an automatic 3-0 victory for Belgium. But hopefully we do not get to that stage. So I think that's going to be the part of the team talk by the Georgians. The Belgians, it's going to be slightly different. It's going to be, right, do remember you got 4 fouls against you already, but also there's only 2 outfield players, so it might be a couple of options they can go here, really, Belgium. They can basically pass the ball around and basically move the ball so far from left to right that it basically takes it away from the 2 players of Georgia, or they can just run at the defence, knowing that they've only got 2 outfield players to beat, and then they'll be bearing down on goal. The one player in all this that my thoughts are with is Iraqi Mandaria, the goalkeeper for Georgia, who's had an exceptional game so far. I thought, he did lose his head somewhat in the game against Spain, because his shoulders did droop in that second half. Substitution made for Belgium. Coming on, number 2 is Christophe Elder, who I'd imagine will just hang back and let the likes of Bertichon, Van der Spoort and also Alexander Vespes just stay forward.
I wonder if the loudest cheer, the only cheer we'll have had in this game so far, Pete, is when we actually get to the 30-minute mark. There's been so many stoppages in this game. So the 4 outfield Belgians take on the 2 outfield Georgians. The ball ricochets towards the right-hand side, deep inside Georgian territory, with Vespers having the ball, cutting in from the right-hand side. If anyone's going to score for Belgium, he looks the most likely. Falls back towards the broken line. He's got a man in his back, which is Petriashvili. And then the ball's played forward from Vespers. Real chance for the shot on goal. It's dragged wide on the angle from Bertichon. A real opportunity on the left corner of the goal mouth, but it drifts harmlessly wide of Irakli Mandaria's goal. Of course, Pete mentioned Mandaria, the Georgian keeper. He's already saved 2 penalties tonight as well. Don't forget, Belgium missed a 3rd when Kevin Van der Spoort unceremoniously belted one wide with the right foot. A long throw forward from Belgium, however, as the wind picks up here under the black Berlin sky. On the right-hand side, Vespers has the ball. Just toe pokes it down the line, looking for his captain, who is David Dortu, but the ball runs out of play for a Georgian ball, and it's another 10 seconds gone where Georgia can breathe a sigh of relief and say that they will not be conceding anytime soon.
Yeah, throw it downfield into Belgian territory, and quite simply that's just going to be picked up by the Belgian defence, and they're going to pile forward trying to find this goal, which ultimately I think 1 goal in this for Belgium will seal the tie. Over to the right-hand side, kept in by the tall number 4 for Belgium. And there's David Dortu, the captain. His shot comes in, comes off a Georgian defender out for a corner. So 7 minutes gone in this second half. Really intriguing set of circumstances here, with Georgia down to 2 outfield players, Belgium up to 4 team fouls. Whether they're going to have any more team fouls, I think really the problem there will be because of possible voids not being called. Now we do have an issue here. Number 17, Petriashvili, has been off the field already with a really bad head injury. Now if he can't continue, then unfortunately neither can Georgia. Now the goalkeeper's gone over to the far side already, so I don't know whether he's just having a conversation with his bench, but the problem is, if this player needs any attention and needs to go off the field, then Georgia won't be able to continue. So on come the medics at the side, and obviously they're going to be given the appropriate amount of time to continue this match. But if Georgi Petrashvili, number 17, who's now getting down onto the floor, if he can't continue, then neither can the Georgian team, which is definitely what we don't want. And I'm quite sure as well that that will be the thoughts of the Belgian team as well. If they're going to win this game, I'm pretty sure they'll want to win it fair and square and not by default with a 3-0 victory. And I think on the far side I can see Ilias Mastouras, the head of the referees, in conversation with the Belgian bench, and I think they've just come over and asked what the actual situation is. And we actually said to Ilias Mastouras only a few minutes ago, when I was just off mic, I leant forward and had a word, and he confirmed that result. There's the conversation that's taking place on the screen. You can see in the foreground in the light blue jacket, that's Ilias Mastouras, who is deep in conversation with the Belgian bench.
It'd be strange, wouldn't it, Pete, if a game was called off because of a nosebleed? But that is the situation that we are faced with here. He is sat on the left corner of his own penalty area. He's got the two medics around him. I think that the Belgian medic is on there as well, Mathieu Coppe, just to help things out and get this game to carry on and continue, because of course 13 minutes remaining in this game. Belgium can get more than the 3 goals they would get in a default win. 3-0 is the default success they would get, but they'll be wanting to get more goals than that against Georgia. The officials on the far side, I think, just flicking through the rule book and making sure that everything is in order and correct here. But he is now back onto his feet, is Georgi Petriashvili. He's been led behind the goal, and at the moment it's a very lonely field for Bachuk Kazia, the number 8 for Georgia, the only man outfield at this moment in time. We will wait and see, Pete, if the remaining 30 minutes of this game will be complete.
Yeah, that's true, but also, like you mentioned earlier, about Belgium having those 4 team fouls, and if that's the case, then unfortunately the game can't continue. But of course Belgium, they want the victory, but they don't want it this way, I'm pretty sure. But they've got those 14 fouls against them, so if you're Georgia, you want to continue, because you've still got the possibility of holding on and possibly getting a 8-metre penalty kick. There's the discussion taking place. You've got the head of IBSA on the near side, on the right, on the far left. I mentioned Ilias Mastouras, and the 2 benches, the 2 coaches, deep in conversation. It's all whether Georgi Petriashvili can continue. He's sat down behind the goal, receiving medical attention. So at the moment, many people would say there's confusion, but there's definitely not confusion here. It's just a matter of whether the individual can continue. That is the mainstay, really. That's the main port of call. It's all about the safety of the individual. They don't want to get him playing just for the sake of it. If he can't continue, he can't continue, and then unfortunately the rules will have to be applied. But like I mentioned, I think if Georgia were way behind in this game, they would have called it off already.
The word from the officials downstairs on the far side is that they are waiting to see if Georgi Petriashvili can continue, if they can numb the flow of the nosebleed, and at least for the next 13 minutes be able to see out the rest of this game. If he cannot continue, Georgi Petriashvili, and of course this may be a reoccurring issue, the nosebleed, he's already gone off with a nosebleed once in this game, then he can't continue, and indeed he cannot continue. The full-time whistle has been blown in this game, is it? That is not the case. He's returned to the field of play. Thankfully, I can say for a minute there, I thought that was the full-time whistle, Pete, and we would have all been going home. That is not the case. Great work from the medics on the far side. Georgi Petriashvili comes back onto the field of play. A big ripple of applause from the players, the coaches, and the spectators as well. And Belgium can finally take this corner.
Yeah, so the players back on the field of play. I'm just going to put a big question mark over whether he can continue overall. It's going to result in a corner to Belgium. On that right-hand side, 2 men standing over the ball. Dorian, the captain of Belgium, with his back to us, with number 4. I think all the procedures been put into place behind the goal, all the cleaning up and getting ready for the resumption. So let's go back to the game. 27 minutes gone in this match. So 13 minutes to go in this second half. Georgia with 3 penalty fouls, 4 for Belgium, who take this corner. Shot comes in wide of the left-hand upright, and it goes out for another corner. So it took a deflection on its way through. A good strike at goal by Bertichon. Low across the ground, took a deflection, could have diverted it into the back of the net, but whistled past the left-hand post, and it will be another corner, this time from the near side left for Belgium.
Georgi Petrashvili, of course, the man with the nosebleed. He's got a lot of white tissue and cotton bud wrapped around his nose at the moment, hoping that that does not transcend into a red colour. It's got a bit of defending to do here, though. Bertichon goes for a shot, deflects in towards the goal. The last touch, I thought, came off number 4, David Dortu, and the referee eventually managing to get that decision right. Initially, he gave the corner. The official on the far side says, look, goalkeeper, Mandaria, I had that covered. It certainly is your ball.
Yeah, definitely the right decision there. The goalkeeper appealed to the near side referee. Obviously, he didn't see the deflection, but again, that's why there's 2 referees, and they worked very well in tandem there and got the right decision. Long throw down the left-hand side, and once again, all the play is going to be to our left, as we see it from the commentary position inside the Georgian half. Here goes Bertichon into the D, shot into the side netting, just pushes the goalkeeper out the way and screams in anger. A real chance there, but I don't think it's going to be the last chance for Bertichon, because the 2 outfield players for Georgia are very immobile on the edge of their own D.
It's tough, isn't it, Pete, because while Georgia had 3 outfield players, they had an outlet in Alexandra Shakrashvili, who could attract a foul and possibly incur another team penalty for Belgium. They've only got 2 now. They're not going to have any possession in the opposition half, and I don't think that lifeline they've got of an 8-yard penalty is going to happen. Meanwhile, Vespers edge of the area, turns nicely, goes down in the box. Was it a penalty? The referee says no and gives a goal kick instead. That could be controversial in the final outcome of this game. It was very close indeed for it going out.
Long throw out by the Georgian keeper. Again, that's just going to go downfield, and the Belgian keeper will get us back underway. Long throw downfield. Again, picked up by Bertichon inside the Georgian half. The 2 men come forward and trip up Bertichon, and that was a terrible tackle, really, by the Georgian number. He's wearing number 8. It's a changed shirt for Kashla. And it's going to be the 4th team foul, and a free kick from just outside the broken line.
Just getting confirmation as well, it's not a 3-0 forfeit scoreline, it's a 6-0 forfeit scoreline should Georgia not be able to continue this game. So the stakes are raised, and more initiative now for Georgia to continue in this game and make sure that they are not hit by another 6-goal margin in this competition, losing 8-0 to Spain yesterday. But a wonderful performance, whatever happened so far from them here. Vespers charging towards the left side of the area, on the angle, shoots, finally scores. Belgium draw first blood. We've had a lot of blood in this game so far, but finally it is Belgium who hit the back of the net. A love heart signal from Vespers towards the crowd. A good contingent from Belgium here tonight as well. We have waited, Pete Selby, 28 minutes for the deadlock to be broken, and Vespers finds the back of the net.
Yes, it was always going to be that man, wasn't it? Alexander Vespers, who's been in the wars. He's committed quite a few fouls, but he's also had a number of attempts on goal and finally makes 1 stick. It was a left-footed effort from close range. They know that they can get close to that goalkeeping square, and of course any shot from around about 2 or 3 yards is going to stand a really good chance of beating any goalkeeper. And here we go with Georgia taking the kick-off, and we can just see the replay. Vespers there just getting close and side-footing the ball past the keeper. So the kick-off's been made and it's just passed downfield. There's no one there, and they're going to have to retreat back to their own goal. And, well, you do have to feel sorry for the Georgians. Here comes Bertichon in the final third. He's got Vespers on his right-hand side. Bertichon dragged back to the left. Shot on goal, and the goalkeeper lackadaisically just stands on his post and kicks it away. Vespers now on the right-hand side, outside of his D, goes to ground, nothing given. 2 players inside the D for Georgia. Vespers hooks it around into the side netting, and it's going to be a goalkeeping restart, and quite what the goalkeeper can do from here is beyond me. He's really got a thankless task at the moment. Just putting shin pad back on, and I think he might need them for the foreseeable future, because there's still plenty of time in this second half remaining. Now, the nearest player to him is 8 yards away, and the second nearest player is 10 yards away, so he just throws it down the right-hand side, and here comes another wave of attack for Belgium. Elias into the D. Chance for a right-footed shot straight at the keeper, who did well and saves and picks it up at the second attempt, and again just throws it down the left-hand side. And, well, the first appearance by Georgia in a major international competition. They, of course, suffered by having players removed from the field in the first game. It's happened again, and it's turned into a bit of a sorry state of affairs, and we wish them all the best for their future games. Here goes Bertichon up to the halfway line, past the halfway line, broken line now, has to be forced back from one of the defenders for Georgia. Goes himself into the D, stops it from going out of play, right hand side. Vespers is square, but Bertichon looks like he's going to take it himself. Lovely drag back shot wide of the left hand post, and he's not too happy at all. Bertichon screams in anger once again, and there's still 10 minutes to go.
10 minutes for Georgia to, well, I don't think that they're going to score here. They're not even putting any players in the opposition half. It's all about just keeping it down as low a score as possible. Dorfu with the freedom of the pitch, running down the centre. He goes too far left in the end and overruns it. It will be a goalkeeper's ball, with Irakli Mandaria taking this one. And Pete mentioned this being Georgia's first tournament. This could be your 10th tournament, and I don't think anything like this would have ever happened to a team before. A very strange match indeed, 5 against 3. And Belgium with possession, leading by a goal to nil, and only the one. They've missed 3 penalties, but credit to Georgia for keeping it down to the score. It is a shot coming from Bertichon, ricochets back towards the goalkeeper, who is slid into by Bertichon. But Mandaria in the end throws the ball away down into the corner, and his opposite number, Adrien Bonnet, who has been very quiet indeed in this game, throws it over the halfway line towards the right-hand side, and David Dortu. His left foot is a green trainer, his right foot is a black trainer. He switches it with that green trainer on the left foot towards the near side now, and the captain, Jean-Michel Bertichon, goes down the centre, past the 2 outfield players, gets in towards goal, but it hit his left foot before he could strike it with the right, and it goes easily through to the goalkeeper in the end, Mandaria, who once again bowls it towards the far side. And, well, Mandaria, I would not like to see his passing accuracy at the end of this one, because he's not been able to pass to a Georgian player. Just has to get their lines clear and throw it as far out as he can. Bertichon bringing the attack straight back towards Georgia, charges easily into the area and shoots, and it does cross the line, in off the post. Belgium get their 2nd goal of the game, and it's Jean-Michel Bertichon, the captain, who walks away with a very muted celebration indeed. He waltzed his way past the 2 defenders into the penalty area in a central position, toe poked it towards the goalkeeper's right leg. He stretched it out, he diverted it off to the inside of the post, and despite Mandaria's best efforts to claw it back over the line, it just went over, and Belgium double their lead. They lead 2 goals to nil against Georgia.
Bertichon wasn't very happy with missing a few earlier chances, but he makes this one pay, and well, Belgium 2 goals to the 4, and yeah, very strange last 10 minutes here. I think even the Belgium supporters in the crowd will be obviously very glad that the game's carried on for one, but they will have a little tinge of sadness and maybe a bit of maybe support Georgia actually in their future games after this. I think they've got a lot of goodwill going their way, especially with the number 17 Preshashvili coming back on. Bertichon once again just scuffs his shot, just actually rolled his foot over the ball, topped it, as you would say in golf, and it rolls towards the goalkeeper, who just sticks a leg out and saves with his feet. But yeah, I think you do have to give a lot of credit to Preshashvili coming back onto the field. He could have easily stayed down and gone off, but they're made of stern stuff are the team from Georgia, and they've shown that, especially in that first 15 minutes. I'll go back to against Spain in their first match. They really put the cat amongst the pigeons against a very talented Spanish team. Lovely drag back there by Vespers on the edge of the broken line, goes into the D and scores. A right-footed effort by Alexander Vespers, showing his skills on the broken line, marching towards the goal. Of course, no defenders in his way, and then stick this one in the back of the net, past the goalkeeper to the goalkeeper's left, Vespers to his right. Right-footed shot past the keeper, and that's another person that I will give a lot of credit to, standing with one hand on his hip, and there's nothing really he can do at the moment. and it's 3 goals for Belgium.
So halfway there to the default scoreline that Belgium would have got had Georgi Petrashvili gone off the field. It will be he who takes the kick now. Of course, all that's required is just one kick forward and just poke it towards the opposition goal. And it drifts wide of the net harmlessly for Adrien Bonnat to throw it out towards the left-hand side. Jean-Michel Bertinchamp has the ball. Only got 1 goal tonight. How's the Belgian captain? Can he get another? Waltz past 2 defenders once again. Into the area he goes, in off the post. He does manage to get a brace and match Alexandra Vesper's tally of 2 as well. It's a good finish from Jean-Michel Bertinchamp. Just got in between the chicane of 2 Georgian defenders, got into the left side of the penalty area and toe poked it in to the back of the net, the bottom right corner of the net as well, and once again it hits the post as it finds the way into the Georgian goal. 4-0 Belgium.
Yeah, 4-0 Belgium lead, and I wonder if they're going to make any substitutions, the Belgians, because they've got plenty on the bench and they can bring them on, including the likes of Dorian Cornelis, who I'm sure will be eager to get on the field. All the eye patches just being checked. 4 goals in 4 minutes for Belgium. 14 fouls apiece as well. Shot from distance from the halfway line straight into the arms of the goalkeeper. Must be really the forgotten man, the Belgian goalkeeper. I must admit I have turned my position towards the Georgian half to save my neck muscles. Over to the left-hand side, and Bertinchamp tries to go into the D. He's going to recover the ball from the corner area. Lovely back heel finds Vespes, and a good tackle comes in by Petrashvili, who has an awful lot of tissue and cotton wool stuffed up his nose to stow the flow of blood. It will be a corner to Belgium from the left. Under 8 minutes remaining. Belgium lead by those 4 goals. And I mentioned before the game, Jonathan, regarding the goal difference, those -7 goals that they have at the moment. Obviously, they would like to eliminate that and get back on an even keel at least, and they're well on the way of doing so.
Absolutely, and despite the fact that this game isn't really a great spectacle anymore with 4 outfield players taking on 2, it just sums up the spirit of blind football. Georgia continuing, battling hard, the 2 at the back there to try and make sure it's no more than the 4. They may fail though, because Vespers is in the area, in a good position here as well, goes all the way into the box. He tangles with the goalkeeper, and that is a foul conceded by Vespers, who is already on a yellow card as well as the Belgian number 8. And on his last warning, he did commit a foul straight after he got cautioned. The referee going to let him off once again there. In fact, has he got the yellow card out, the referee? He has, you know, and this could be a red card for Vespers. The yellow card is in the right hand of the referee, who is following Vespers to the halfway line. And if the referee remembers he's already booked Vespers, then this will be a red card. The referee just talking to Vespers here and saying, I've got no choice. Does he know he's already booked Vespers? He's shown the yellow card to him, and where is the red?
Yes, I agree with you, Jonathan. He's gone to the sideline now. Now he's going to make the signal, as you can see on screen, to the bench. There's the yellow card. And I'd imagine that Vespers will be now taken off the field. The referee's come to the sideline.
That's surely a second yellow card.
It's the 5th team foul, so it's definitely going to be any more fouls. It will go to an 8-metre penalty kick for Georgia, so they will have a chance to get onto the score sheet, but discussions are still being made. And yes, it looks like the signal that there's 2 yellows have been made, and Vespers is now being told he must leave the field of play. The referee's just come to the near side to tell the coach there of Belgium, and there's the red card shown to Alexander Vespers, who will now leave the field of play, and he's just been told he's not too happy with it at all, but that decision has been made and he's left the field. So Vespers has been sent off for Belgium.
Well, that would have been salt in the wounds for Georgia if Alexander Vespers would have got a second yellow card but remained on the field. It was hard enough playing at 4 against 2, but actually meant to be having someone off the field against you, not going off. That would have been really bad. But Vespers is now leaving, and the task not as difficult for Georgia, 2 against 3.
Yeah, 2 against 3, so Belgium still have that man advantage. And obviously now they have 5 team fouls against them, so any more committed, and it will be a penalty kick from the 8-metre mark for Belgium. Shot comes in from Elias, and that goes wide for a goal kick.
What a remarkable game of blind football this is. Just when you think that everything had occurred in this game, we get another red card, but this time for Belgium, who have the ball on the right corner of their own area with their team captain David Dortu. Not captain tonight, however. He's coming over the halfway line on the right-hand side, and he is slowly approaching the back two of Georgia. Switches it to the left side of the area, and Jean-Michel Bertenchamp now back towards the broken line, being forced backwards by the Georgia defence, but then goes on the outside again, left-footed effort in low towards the goalkeeper. The referee blows his whistle as the tackle from Kaiser may have been a foul there on Bertenchamp, who is still down, clutching his left hand, is it, or is it his right leg?
Yeah, he's fell on his right leg. I don't think the foul's been given. I think the referee's just halted play so any trainers can come on. But it was a good run by Bertenchamp, and it was an accidental foul actually after the shot was made. So no foul given there by the referee. He's going to give it to the goalkeeper to get the ball and the game underway. And he just does his usual trick of throwing it to any Belgian player, basically, to spring another attack. Shot from distance goes wide by David Dortu. And it will be another restart for the Georgians. Referee blows his whistle, so the game's going to be stopped. Substitution for Belgium. Coming off the field is number 4, David Dortu, and coming on is Kevin van der Spoor. But obviously with the 5 team fouls for Belgium, I'm just trying to think of a way that Georgia could possibly bring a foul. I think the one way is, I mentioned earlier, if a Belgian player's running at the Georgian defence and then doesn't shout voy, then obviously that would be a foul committed, or maybe going through on the goalkeeper, which of course is what happened to Alexander Vespers, and why he's off the field. Another restart for Belgium because the goalkeeper just throws it downfield. Long throw down the left-hand side for Bertenchamp. Stops the ball on the broken line, now goes across to the centre. Plenty of voice being shouted on the field because the Belgians don't want to give away a penalty. Shot from distance straight into the midriff of the goalkeeper. Again, good positioning by Mandiara, the goalkeeper for Georgia. Just throws it downfield, out of play. Another restart. Long downfield, the right-hand side. Stopped by Kevin van der Spoor. Across the broken line he comes from the right to the centre, stops, now goes back to the right-hand side. Tries to go beyond Petrashvili. He's by the kickboard on the right. Turns away from Petrashvili, who just gets a toe on the ball and pokes it out of Georgian territory, and Elias will have to go back inside his own half to regather the ball. In fact, he inadvertently misses the ball and it goes out for a goal kick. So just over 5 minutes remaining. And while the ball is in play, of course, the time will tick away once any whistles have been blown for any infringements or substitutions or the ball going out of play. The time will stop. That's why this game's taken quite a while. Ball down the right-hand side, kept in by Van der Spoor by the right corner. Now he's going to try and dribble across the D. He has to go back to the kickboard after being tackled by the very brave indeed Georgi Petrashvili. Switched over to the near side. Van der Spoor to come over towards our commentary position. Bid the collision with the kickballs. Now he's approaching the D. Chance for a shot from central position. It's an air kick. Second opportunity. Kicks the foot of Petrashvili. Third time doesn't work out, and it's down by the corner for Belgium. Van der Spoor puts his foot on the ball, and it runs out of play for a restart.
And the throw will be taken from Irakli Mandaria, and it is a bit of a relief that we don't have passing accuracy stats at hand here, because well, it must be very close to single-digit percentages for Mandaria, again having to throw the ball forward and all the way out towards the back. A substitute for Belgium, Syed Salek will be coming on to the field, and the reason for that is that when you commit a second bookable offence, after 2 minutes a substitute can then be brought on. So Belgium back to full strength again, and Syed Salek returns to the field of play. So Georgia had 2 minutes of respite, and now they've got 5 minutes of terror on their hands again.
Yep, that's the rules. After 2 minutes another player can come on, so you're back to the full team, which of course Georgia could not do in their first game of this tournament against the Spanish, because they didn't have anyone on the bench to bring on. So they had to carry on with the 3 outfield players, which ended up at the end being 2. It's Belgium on the left, now fully with 4 outfield players. Elias inside the D, shot wide, and that was Christophe Alder. And it's still 4 goals for the Belgians as we tick towards less than now 4 minutes to go. Ball out of play. Another restart for the Belgian keeper, who's got the easiest task in the world at the moment. Long throw out again by Bertichon, or finds Bertichon inside the centre circle. 2 men in front of him, goes past the first one, goes past the second, and that's a very good last-ditch challenge by Petrashvili. It goes out for a corner. Once again, the clock has been stopped. Actually, it's going to be a goal kick, so even better challenge. Must have came off the boots last of the Belgium attacker. Long throw downfield, goes out of play once again. Almost like the goalkeepers are just passing the ball to each other. Long throw towards Van der Sport, controls inside Georgian territory, and another wave comes from the Belgians. Here goes Van der Sport, central position, shot wide, and it's just shooting practice at the moment for the blue-shirted Belgians.
4-0 Belgium lead, only 2 goal scorers on the score sheet, however. Jean-Michel Bertinchon, the captain, who had his penalty saved in the first half. He's got a brace, as has Alexander Vespers. And guess what? He missed a penalty in the first period as well. He's not on the pitch at the moment, of course. A second bookable offence saw him go off. But 2 minutes have passed now, so they are able to bring a 4th outfield player on. Are the Belgians. Right-hand side, Aller into the box, shoots left-footed from the right side of the box. Bad angle to get a shot away there, and it goes into the near side netting. So Mandaria will take the throw down the Belgian left. And Bertinchon, under no pressure, slips as he picks up the ball here, just over halfway. He's got 2 sky blue shirts in front of him. He decides to charge himself. He clashes into the defender, Bachuk Kaisia, who's on the edge of his own penalty area. He will then try and clear up towards halfway, but good battling from Christophe Eiler as he goes down the right-hand side. The 2 Georgians committing bodies towards that far side, and it may sting them where it hurts, because Eiler's got a bit of room on the right side of the D to shoot towards the goal. No deflection on it. It was a weak effort. It drifts wide of the far post, and once again Mandaria will have the ball at the back. So inside the final 2.5 minutes here, Belgium leading by 4 goals to 0. Georgia with just the 2 outfield players in what is the most remarkable game of blind football you will probably ever witness.
Long throw downfield, stopped by the Georgian defence, and that could have inadvertently caused a lot of problems. Van der Sport inside the D, pokes it wide, and I think the goalkeeper there just saying, look, when I say leave it, I mean leave it, and it will go straight through to me. I must admit, the goalkeeper, I think, has to go down as one of the heroes of the day. Long throw out by the keeper. Plenty in the crowd. And that's just a small snapshot of those remaining fans who have stayed to witness this game. Plenty of Belgians in the crowd, and I think they'll be here for their future games. 4 games to look forward to tomorrow, so make sure you tune in to the coverage wherever you are in the world. Here's Alder on the edge of the D, trying to wrestle his way through. Van der Sport takes over. Is he going to try and back heel? He's back to goal. And yes, he does try a back heel. It goes wide. Good effort there by the tall, broad number 9. There's a few Belgian shirts in the crowd. Number 10 there. That's Eden Hazard's number for the Belgium 11-a-side team. Actually sitting next to number 7, Kevin De Bruyne. Less than 2 minutes remaining. Belgium winning by 4 goals to 0. I think they would want, like I said, to try and get up to around about 7 to make sure they're on a level goal difference. Idea down the right-hand side, approaching the D. Shot comes in, blocked again by Petrashvili, and he's wrestling the ball off the number 2 for Belgium. Back to the halfway line, and we're approaching the final minutes of this game. One of the most remarkable games of blind football that I've witnessed in my years covering the sport. And Bertichon on the edge of the broken line goes once again down the left-hand side, stops, drags back towards the centre, collides with a Georgian player. Hopefully he will get to his feet. He's just crouching down. Yes, he does. And once again, the next wave of attack comes, this time in the form of the giant Van der Spoort. Towards the broken line, central position. 2 Georgians between him and the goalkeeper. Shoots from distance into the back of the net. Cracking goal by number 9, Kevin Van der Spoort. It's the best goal of the night. It's the 5th for Belgium. And from a long way out, finally, the big number 9 catches the ball right. And it flies into the back of the net, past the heroic goalkeeper for Georgia.
Yeah, I've seen another number 9 do that shot and that sort of celebration as well, with number 9 on the back of his shirt. Alan Shearer, of course, with the right arm raised in the air. You have to say Van der Spoort maybe has a bit of shooting practice to do in order to get on that sort of level, but a really accurate strike there to find the bottom right corner of Irakli Mandaria's net. And I think we're going to have a substitution here as well. So a second appearance of these championships for the number 6 of Belgium coming on to the field of play now. Of course, it is Dorian Cornelis, the first woman to ever play in an international blind football championship. She played last night in the drubbing against Turkey, and it was the bright spark for Belgium in that game. And she now enters the fray. Now a standing ovation on the far side from some supporters as well for her, as she gets her second international appearance for Belgium. And you have to say, I don't think she'll have a more comfortable game than the remaining couple of moments of this match.
No, not at all. It's quite common actually for a female blind football player to be playing this at club level, but on the international stage certainly is quite remarkable, especially in the European Championships as well. So a real historic moment. She made her debut in the defeat to Turkey. Now on the field once again in the dying seconds of this game. 30 seconds to go, and here comes probably the 50th wave of attack in this second half. Bertichon up to the edge of the D. Can't get a shot on goal. 15 seconds remain. Quite nice for the ball to still be at the feet of Petrashvili when the final whistle is sound, because he's the hero to come back onto the field after those problems with injury to his face and his nose especially. And the final whistle goes, and Belgium win by 5-0 against a heroic Georgian side.
Absolutely, and Belgium may be scratching their head a bit after that one. Yeah, they got 5 goals, but for a vast majority of the second half, they were playing against 2 outfielders, and they should really have got more goals than they ended up getting. Of course, they missed 3 penalties in the first half as well. Another international appearance being made by Dorian Cornelis. But overall, the man on the left of your screen there, whose nose looks like a bit of an Egyptian mummy with the amount of wrapping that is cottoned around it. Of course, that is Georgi Petrashvili. The game almost called off due to the nosebleed to him reoccurring. The Georgians immediately walking off the field of play. They will have to make sure they come back stronger tomorrow against Turkey. It doesn't get easier for them. They will have one player, Basilashvili, back from suspension. But for now, Belgium comfortably in the end, eventually as well, putting 5 goals past Georgia. Full time here, it has finished. Belgium 5, Georgia 0, and I can now pass over to Alan March and Pete Selby, who can decipher over an extraordinary game of football.
Thank you very much, Jonathan, in commentary. Well, Pete, you said during the commentary there, a remarkable game, and one of the most remarkable blind football matches you've ever covered. And I have to say, it had pretty much everything, didn't it? We had missed penalties, we had a 0-0 scoreline at one point, and we just kept looking at it thinking, where is the goal going to come from? And then all of a sudden the Georgian team got smaller and smaller in numbers. Fair play to the Georgian team. Nobody's ever going to take away the fact that they have battled their way through these first 2 games, covered in blood, bandaged to the hilt. Let's take a look at the highlights of what is, as Pete says, one of the most remarkable games we've ever covered between me and him in the world of blind sport. Let's take a look at the goals when they eventually started to come on 28 minutes, Peter.
Yeah, Alexander Vespers eventually breaks the deadlock, but the story of the game really is at the top of the screen with the 2 players missing for Georgia, signified by the 2 red marks, and then you've got also the penalties below. Now, one word has to go to the goalkeeper, who for basically the whole second half, all he could do was just throw the ball downfield
because there was no one else on the field. There's only 2 players, and they were limited defenders, you have to say, for Georgia. But eventually, once the deadlock was broken, and then it was just wave after wave of the Belgian attack.
The irony of the first goal is he's got beaten his near post, which, you know, in any goalkeeper's manual, in any form of football, being beaten at your near post is the old sin, isn't it? So the first one knocked in, as you say, Peter. The fact of the matter was that they were already several players light on the team by the time these goals were raining in.
Exactly. The thing with Belgium, what they could do, instead of shooting from distance, instead of shooting from angles, they could basically dribble up to the edge of the goalkeeping square and take a shot from point blank range. So it's no wonder they racked up 5 goals. Here goes Bertichon once again, a prime example of that, getting close to the goal, off the inside of the post and into the back of the net. Nothing the goalkeeper can do. But a word for Petrashvili, the player who came back onto the field of play. Not only were there plenty of fouls, not only were there people being sent off from both sides, but also we had to get the rule book out at one stage, because if Petrashvili didn't come back on the field of play, then it would have been unfortunately forfeited. There's the best goal of the night. The big number 9, Kevin van der Spoor, who's not had his shooting boots on in this tournament. He does possess a really good right-footed shot, and it's taken that 5th goal to show off those skills, and he does have, and hopefully for Belgium supporters, that gives him that bit of confidence so he can get his shooting boots on against, what you have to say, better opposition later on in this tournament.
I think it's fair to say that the IBSA Blind Football European Championships has pretty much given us everything it possibly could here on day number 3. Let's take a look at what's still to come in this wonderful competition here in Berlin. Tomorrow's games, well, we start off with Spain against Russia at 11 o'clock tomorrow morning. Make sure you join us. It's going to be one of the games of the tournament. It really is. Russia have already got themselves points in the bag. So too have Spain. 1 win apiece. That's going to be a cracker. See you tomorrow.
Boah. Angeber.